Hey, look at you. Way to go, bro.
What's happening, people? And Nick's just nipping away. That was a bit of a false start for us both there. But welcome to the Shaun Attwood channel. I'm Ron Swanson. This is DJ Petrovsky. We don't have a name for our podcast yet, but here you are. And today we're delving into a little bit more knowledge for you guys on the occult side of fame, celebrities, looking, of course, at the Diddy case and the Epstein files as a classic example of this. Why there seems to be this deep-rooted desire for mystical powers, the ability to shape your reality and please a deity. But we'll get to that because Mandelson got arrested. And they're slapping him with the same thing they slapped, excuse me, Prince Andrew with, which is the misuse whilst working in the private sector, I do believe it's called.
Yeah, and I think that's really funny because my buddy Charlie was talking about that with Courtney Love being in the files, and he's been saying for like 2 years that she's a CIA plant, and she's like a recruiter for Epstein's network and worked for Mossad. Yeah, and so she's mentioned in the files, and like she even said some stuff about how the CIA she thinks killed Kurt, and like just
okay, yeah. I couldn't. My brain was like, I know this person. Okay, carry on.
But then he was saying that, why did I bring that? Oh, he was saying that the best bet that we have for getting Courtney Love for anything would be doing something Epstein related, and likely it'd have to be like financial related. Like she was getting paid for something to do something illegal. And I was like, man, that's so crazy because that now all these guys are getting arrested, not for trafficking or engaging in really awful illegal activity. It's for freaking financial stuff.
Listen. I thought that too, until I seen the maximum sentencing for this particular offense, which is life imprisonment.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense because then, yeah, if it's just like if it's a minor abuse,
that was my rant, bro. That was my initial rant. Was these people are like unaliving babies, right? And you're going to book him. You're going to get him done for an administrative thing. So it's either exactly what we're thinking, and it's just they're trying to brush it under the carpet, or there's actually somebody doing their job properly, and they've went, right, what can we actually prove? We can definitely prove this and this. That might come with an 8-year sentence or a fine or whatever, but there's this big fatty right here that can come with a life sentence. Now, I'm hoping that's what it is, Nick, right? Like, we hope that that's what they're doing, but history hasn't exactly painted a lot of hope within us, right?
No, definitely not. Yeah. And so, I mean, even when we have gotten people, especially in America, I don't know about elsewhere, but especially in America, when we do finally get people on the hook for something, they always end up off the hook at the end of when it's all said and done. I mean, Diddy is a good example. I'd say Epstein's another good example. I mean, he served like 6 months actually in jail for his initial crime. And then he was on like house arrest, kind of.
Right.
Like, yeah. So, yeah, especially people with money, they always end up getting sentenced lightly. So I honestly didn't think about the sentencing aspect of it. That's a good point.
Well, that was the only giving you some hope angle on this, right?
We need hope.
I'll be honest with you. We're not going to get into it now, but I'm like 90% convinced Epstein was an Israeli spy, right?
Oh, yeah, I believe it. I found a document saying that Epstein was actually friends with or like chosen by Robert Maxwell. He wanted him to be his mentor, or he wanted him to be his mentee and take over his whole role, which was as an Israeli spy.
Well, here's the thing. For me, there's a lot of hearsay stuff, right? So I try and ignore the conversations that could have been or things like this, right? That man should have done a mandatory 5-year sentence for being involved with a child. Okay? And it was the Department of Justice that forced and demanded that Epstein got the deal that he was given. And the only people that can control and give orders to the DOJ is the president. So when I heard that, I was like, right, sold. I'm sold. The guy's not dead. If you can if you've got mates that can phone up the president and go, this is 5-year mandatory sentence. No. 6 months and then 12 months on a tag. That's serious stuff, bro. Right? That's serious stuff. And that's what convinced me.
Later on, when Acosta is talking about it, he literally says that he was told to back off because Epstein is an intelligence or something along those lines. But he didn't say which intelligence. He didn't say he's CIA intelligence. He didn't say he's an asset of the U.S. government. He just said he's intelligence. So, and likely the CIA and Mossad are also probably like two sides of the same coin, like they're working together. I was told in one of these videos I was watching about 9/11 stuff, because I'm just obsessed, but they were talking about how all of the intelligence that the CIA was getting about all of these weapons of mass destruction and all this nonsense in the Middle East, it was all coming from Israeli Mossad intelligence. So we weren't even doing our own investigation.
Just to have our first side quest of the evening, right? We all really need to pay attention on what's going on in Iraq right now. Or Iran. Sorry, it might be Iran. I can't remember. It's one of the Urs.
It's Iran because they're like the last place to fall of this.
Well, no, it's like hang on a second. Let me just fact check my facts, because they're two very different places that sound very much the same.
Before we go on this side quest, I have a real quick, totally off topic but kind of on topic question for convicted child PDFs.
Yeah.
Have you heard of chemical castration?
Yes. And you know, the funny thing is, I thought in my head, you imagine a PDF on a rope with their testicles being dunked into like some sort of chemical, right? But actual fact, it's just a tablet, right? Or an injection, right? So you carry on.
I only learned that because of my Michael Jackson video, because his dad actually chemically castrated him until he was like, I don't even know, like 14 or 15, because they didn't want Michael Jackson's voice.
His voice to change.
So they kept him chemically castrated so he didn't hit puberty. And then once he did finally hit puberty anyways, they took him off. He like quit doing it. But I was like, dude, that is Michael Jackson was abused by his dad his whole childhood. But
I've got a mad theory as well that Michael Jackson was like grabbing kids away from that island. I've got a whole bunch of mad theories, right? It's definitely a Monday night with DJ Nick.
I'm on the opposite side. I think that Michael has been painted and smeared, and I think he was the only person out there trying to help kids.
That's what I mean. He was grabbing the kids to prevent them from going to the island. I don't actually think I said that, though. I think I did just reframe Michael Jackson as a child predator accidentally.
I think it's just our cultural language barrier here sometimes. You know what I mean? But that's all I can say.
Yeah. I mean, you've had a couple of 100 years to master the language now, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you got this.
I always think it's so funny, the like small differences between the Englishes.
Yeah.
And I wonder.
Listen, I'm from Scotland, man. We butcher the language. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, honest to God. I can send you videos of like Scottish slang words being used anywhere in Britain than Scotland, and people being very confused. But the Michael Jackson thing, that's another big.
I just wanted to know, what do you think about that being part of the sentencing, especially for like really serious child PDFs?
Oh, listen, it's interesting because what I'm interested in is statistics, right? Given a bunch of PDFs a tablet that stops them being PDFs, brilliant. Show me the stats. And the stats are shockingly successful. Okay?
Well, and if they do it for alcohol, they have Anabuse, which is like a tablet you have to take daily.
Do you know what chemical castration is? Like, do you know, like in a nutshell, what it does?
I don't really understand exactly how the tablet works. I would assume it's something with hormones. But
so what? No. You're not going to get that level of a scientific answer from Ron, bro. You're going to get like we're sitting around, like passing something around while we discuss this kind of answer from Ron, right?
Dude,
but it effectively, in a nutshell, it nullifies your sexual identity.
Okay.
So it would nullify you being a heterosexual white male. It would nullify me being a heterosexual white male. We would have zero sex drive. We would have nothing. It'd be nada, right? It's just nothing. So that's interesting.
What about the thought that it may not even be a part of just their sex drive? Maybe it's an actual psychological condition where even if they lose their sex drive, they still might be susceptible to just like maybe they're just psychopaths and that's just what they get off on.
I don't think it can work. I think it can only work on regular folk that have been cleared of psychopathy and things like this. I think there must be a list of things. But I mean, listen, a PDF file going, oh yeah, I took that pill and now I don't want to do it anymore, is exactly what you would say if you were a PDF file who's been released from prison and been given a pill to take. So it's one of them. It's one of them. So it really is.
Well, that's a real easy thing. You can stop taking or switch out or whatever.
Yeah. And I just want to reiterate this as well. Okay. Hang on a second. I'm going to keep talking about this until I get time to do a show on it, because this is real. Okay. They have now completely redone the evidence in Kurt Cobain's case. And it's been ruled a homicide. All right. Now, the Epstein files is crushing this everywhere. But I just want to reiterate, Kurt Cobain's death was homicide. Okay.
If you guys want to know more about it, I have a 4-part series on my channel about the Kurt Cobain stuff. It is pretty in depth. I mean, 4 videos worth of. And if you guys really want the source on Kurt Cobain stuff, please go check out my homie. His name's Charlie. He's the American Spy Fox here on YouTube. But all this stuff that's coming out now, stuff about the police officer that is like breaking his silence and all these other people and like getting the autopsy report. He was the first person to get the autopsy report before a lot of drama went down. And then he also was the first person to get that officer on his channel to also say the same things that everybody's saying now. But this was like 2 years ago. So go check out American Spy Fox. He's got probably the best information on the Kurt Cobain case.
Does he say anything? Does he say anything about Courtney Love being part of it?
He's got a whole bunch. He's got a whole playlist of Courtney Love. Like, he knows more about Courtney Love than anybody. He knows more about the Cobain case than anybody I know. And when I was doing my research for my video,
was she part of it? Like, do you think she was part of his murder?
I think that she had part in planning for sure. I don't think she had part in actually taking it out. I think she might have had. What I think happened is she paid somebody to actually do the hit that may have nothing to do with Kurt's circle, but the people that were involved in the circle were all really, really intense black tar addicts. And so they're very easy to convince to do something like, hey, when you get out there, take Kurt to buy this gun, blah, 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 do all these things. And they're just like, yeah, sure. And she's like, I'll give you as much drugs or like money as you want for the next, I'll take care of you for the rest of your life, whatever. And I think she had help, not in them even knowing. They didn't know what she was up to. She's a master manipulator, and she was able to manipulate these people around Kurt to basically set him up. And then I think she had somebody else come in and do it personally. But I mean, for obvious reasons, just the amount of black tar that he had taken was enough to kill 3. Yeah, it was enough to kill 3 people. So even if he had a tolerance, it's only enough to, your tolerance can only save you so much, you know? And it's not, they're not measuring the level of actual black tar that he took. They're measuring how much was actually in his blood. And so it doesn't really matter how much your tolerance is. That usually just means you can take more, but the amount of it is going to be like higher in your blood. And for him to be 3 times over, it doesn't matter how good your tolerance is. You're going to die. So that was crazy. I have a really good series on it, but if you guys want to know everything about Kurt Cobain and surrounding Kurt Cobain, because his whole channel is like grunge history stuff, and but he really ended up focusing a lot on the Kurt stuff. But he's a homie of mine. I reached out to him when I started using his content or like researching a lot of his videos for my stuff, and yeah, I was just like, this guy has the most comprehensive Kurt investigation I've ever seen. But not a lot of people know about him. He's only got like 60,000 followers, and it's really annoying that he came out with all this stuff 2 years ago and nobody listened to him. Nobody took him seriously. And now it's coming out and nobody knows about it.
It's interesting, right? Because we're not going to say the words, but I was talking to you about one of your videos and I was like, hey man, you put this in the title. You need to watch, you know, YouTube doesn't like that. And you were like, well, actually, it's one of the best performing videos that I've got. I wonder if we're going to see YouTube and platforms turn corners on suppressing things they used to suppress for fear of backlash. Do you know what I mean?
You know what's ironic?
Do you know what's really ironic, right? I just got a message from Shaun saying, you YouTube's already trying to demonetize your live. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, well, because there's something in the thumbnail, and he explained it. And I've just sat here listening to you and changed the thumbnail, and he's just messaged me and went, it's green now. Okay.
What?
Was literally 10 seconds after the thumbnail was reposted, it went back to being monetized. Bonkers,
where's my
bro.
I gotta see, because you sent me the thumbnail from before.
Right. It was the potion looked too much like what is pumped through our body.
Oh my god, yeah, they're so freaking. Yeah, I
How
had it.
Just to show you how on the ball. Just to show you how on the ball Mr. Attwood is. Just to show you how on the ball Mr. Attwood is.
Hey, he is on the ball. I'll give him that, because you're on the ball live for what, 10, 15 minutes here total, and five of them changed the thumbnail. Yeah. But you know what's ironic about all of that is that the video that I posted that you're referencing is about how they ended up mass manipulating this huge psyop on the world, basically, to think that nothing happened. It's crazy for you to think this. And now, if you believe conspiracy theories, you are dangerous, because look what happened to this guy who believed a completely false conspiracy theory. And so that's how, right after that, Google and Facebook and everybody contributed to that whole movement by saying they're going to censor all this stuff more and not allow conspiracy stuff to be out there. But I think with the Epstein stuff, they can't, like, if people are getting censored on making Epstein videos, then 100% you're right that Google's going to get called out. People are going to call shit out. And with Sergey Brin being in the files now, with what I found, then I'm sure they don't want that connection. Okay, so he's in the files, and now we're being censored on Google and YouTube, and so I thought that was kind of interesting, personally. Yeah.
Well, listen, DJ, where can I think he's referencing your friend's content that you just talked about there? What was his name again?
His name is The American Spy Fox, and or maybe it's just, I think it's just American Spy Fox if you search the handle. But yeah, he's on YouTube mostly. That's where his content's at. Yep, that's him. Yeah, and I would go to his playlist section. He's got tons of playlists. He's got Epstein videos. He's got Virginia Giuffre videos. But he's got some of the best Kurt and Courtney videos out there. And Kristen Pfaff, if you guys know who that is.
Also, as well, don't go after my mod. That was a sarcastic comment about the CEOs of Google. Just to be clear, it's we love you, Google. You're all awesome. You definitely have done nothing wrong.
Yeah, I literally just made a shorts video about what I told you, and that's what I said at the end. Please don't take this video down.
Right? Yeah, please don't do it. I beg you. Right. So let's circle back to some Mandelson stuff, and then we'll dive into some occult stuff. So off the bat, like I say, we've had the arrest of the man formerly known as Prince, and Lord Mandelson, of course, was a pivotal individual with regards to the British government. But let's hear all about it. Lord Mandelson has. Hang on a second. One second.
Oh, and sorry. I was watching Sean's video about the deep demonic picture of Andrew, and man, it is so weird. That picture, he looks so wired. Maybe who knows what happened to him? But he does not.
The one of them in the car.
Yeah.
Well, do you know? There's another one that was taken a few seconds before that that's slightly out of focus, where he's kind of sitting up and he looks even worse. Really? He looks like he's been lobotomized, bro.
Oh my God.
Genuinely, in that photo, he looks like he's either been on a 5-day bender, right, and is wired out of his mind and had the best time of his life.
Jail was amazing.
Yeah, right? He looks like he was given like electric shock therapy or something along those lines. I mean, it's wild.
Thinking about
I wouldn't want to be pulled in and questioned by the leaders of the Illuminati and the New World Order and that. Nah.
Nope.
It'd be bad enough if you were a regular person being arrested.
Do you feel like he's kind of a patsy? Or like not necessarily a patsy, but like a fall guy kind of like.
Nah, do you know what I think he is? I think he was the only royal dumb enough to not just act out his twisted fantasies in the royal dungeon with the royal breeding stock, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think. I think he was the Meghan Markle of the royals. He didn't just want everything handed to him and all the money in the world that he could have. He wanted more than that. He wanted to be part of the club and be doing the parties and rubbing shoulders and all of this stuff. You know, at least the other royal families would invite their famous friends in through the tunnel to their dungeon. He just had to venture outside the dungeons. And that's the way I feel. Thank you whoa, Jesus Christ. Patrick Fitz. Okay, Patrick, thank you. Thank you, my chi. Thank you, my brother. Good to see you. But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
Hang on a second. I think my brain just clicked on who this guy is.
Well, and I'm American, so I literally have never heard of James Mandelson until this whole like arrest thing happened. So
Yep. Or Peter Mandelson, the guy we're talking about. Either way, it's all good.
Peter, I think I
don't know anyone's name, man. I'm a face person. Right, Lord Beeman has been arrested for allegedly passing on market-sensitive information to Jeffrey Epstein during his time as government minister. The former U.S. ambassador was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office by the Metropolitan Police on Monday. Video footage showed him being led from his home in London by officers as part of a so-called Epstein files. Emails from 2009 appeared to show Lord Mandelson passing on information to the convicted S-offender when he was a business minister for Gordon Brown's government. The emails appeared to be sent to Epstein after he became a convicted person. Mandelson was sacked as U.S. ambassador by Keir Starmer, or Keir Stalin, whichever way you want to pronounce it, after emails revealed the depth of the relationship with Epstein. Before the arrest was announced by police, MPs were told the first trachet of documents related to Lord Mandelson appointment as a U.S. ambassador was expected to be released very shortly in March. So they were pre-warned. Like, it literally says that right there.
Yeah, I found the actual document where they were talking about starting the investigation, and it was in February of 2025. 2024. Sorry. No, February of, let me look real quick.
Sorry.
But right after they released the first batch of Epstein files. Yeah, 2025, sorry. But the first batch of Epstein files came out January of 2025. And then right after that, they called for an investigation, and they started one, and they've been investigating him since. Him and a bunch of other people.
Do you know what's interesting? I'm going to do a special night this week. We'll maybe do it next Monday, actually. You know how all of this used to be a conspiracy? Like, all of this used to be a conspiracy, right? And now it's a fact. I think we should have a look at everything conspiracy related in the Epstein. Let's see what the next set of conspiracies that turn out to be conspirafacts are going to be, because there's bucket loads, man. There is bucket loads, and some of them are worth delving into. I think some of them are really worth delving into.
I would agree, 100%.
Right, let me get back to you.
That's my favorite videos going around right now are the I.O. conspiracy theorists and apology videos. They crack me up because there's so many of them, and I'm like, that does feel good.
Yeah, bro. Do you know what? It's crazy. I remember having conversations with people like 6, 7, 8 years ago, and them sitting looking at me like I was bonkers. Right? In fact, do you know what it was? I used to have this like good 20-minute like rant preloaded about the Clintons, and then I would just like a hairpin trigger would set it off, and man, I can remember chewing family members' ears off for like an hour and 20 minutes while they sat and went, that's and I tell you what, man, vindication. But yeah, I mean, we all feel that, right? But look, it's unclear if it will be impacted by the arrest today. Mandelson has previously said that none of his recently released Epstein files indicate wrongdoing or misdemeanor on his part, and that Epstein did not influence his actions in office. Mandelson comes just days after Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was detained and released under investigation as suspicion of misconduct in public office. Andrew has previously denied any wrongdoing. Shut up, Andrew. You said you couldn't sweat me. Mandelson worked a 7-month spell as the UK ambassador to the United States, starting role on the 10th of February 2025. Oh, also, America, if you were watching, our prime minister has lost his freaking mind, okay? We, the people, okay, are still united. America, you and the British and the Americans are still one, because our prime minister is now threatening Trump that he will no longer have access to any military bases in the UK and any of the American military bases.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
I just want you to know, right? If we get droned and super soldiered, okay, I'm okay with it, because the last one, there was no casualties. You just went in. If we could get a GoFundMe for Trump to release the super soldiers, I'd really appreciate it. Also, I'm not saying anything, but you know that board of peace that Trump set up? You know how he had that, like he was getting accused of Greenland, and then he set up this board of peace, right?
Yeah.
It was like 50 countries. They all had to give him $1 billion, right? Have you looked at the map of where these countries are? Because all I'm saying is if Russia and China were my enemies, I would get a deal going with all of the surrounding countries of Russia and China, okay? And get them all to give me $1 billion. So I've now got $50 billion, and I've made friends with everyone on your borders. Brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. Either that, or it's either savior of the world or Hitler too. It's one of the two, and there's no middle ground, okay? And that's my opinion on Trump right now. Savior of the world or Satan, and there's no middle ground. I feel like
that's accurate. There really is no middle ground on it.
There's no middle ground.
He's been making some wild moves, like macho moves, I swear. Especially when we got used to Biden. I don't feel like anything happened during Biden's presidency, so... Oh, man.
Listen, if we have to convince him, in fact, he's got freaking golf courses here. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got an invested interest in Scotland. All right.
Yeah, he loves golf.
So I wonder if we faked finding oil, if that would spur on the invasion.
That's a good idea.
So? Like, Sarah, if you're watching, can you put an email together for Trump and say that we've discovered billions and billions of dollars worth of oil directly under Downing Street? Directly under Downing Street, and he needs to come in and liberate us of that oil, please.
Trump, we need your help. We need your help, bro. But I do love this comment.
Listen, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trump hater. Right now, I'm sat on the I feel nothing for Trump, because I could give you a PowerPoint presentation on why he's a twat and why he could be the savior of the world. I could give you one on each of them, right? 100%. 100%. Yeah, I know we've got oil. I know we've got oil, but it's not like it's freaking like Venezuela oil. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Venezuela oil. It's not like Arab Emirate oil. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. Just a little tiny bit.
A tiny bit of oil.
I mean, it's a lot of oil. It's a lot of oil. You've got Scotland's got all the whiskey, all the oil, and all the nuclear weapons. So I just want to remind the rest of the UK about that. Okay, we've got all the whiskey, all the oil, and all the nukes. Okay, so just before anyone wants to spout anything off about Scotland, or if anyone wants to start a war, just remember that. Remember what happened with the Romans. They conquered the whole world and then got to Scotland and went, nah. Do you know what it would take to conquer the whole of Europe and then get to the tiny tip of the UK, which is Scotland, and then just build a freaking wall? Just to build a wall. Scotland have nukes. Scotland stores the entire arsenal of the UK's nuclear warhead. Right?
Scots have nukes.
All of them. It's so funny because
Scotland Yard is the Scotland Yard also like, I don't know, do they have like intelligence stuff, or is that an intelligence?
We've got fucking James Bond. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, you got MI6, huh?
You got MI6, MI5, and probably a bunch of other ones.
What's the difference?
Well,
between 5 and 6.
Listen, bro, I don't even know what either of them do. Every now and again, you get an advert in the paper that just says spies wanted, and that's how they advertise for MI6. Like it's bonkers. It really is bonkers.
You just have to have like a high school diploma.
I have no idea, but the realities of being a spy would be freaking wild, bro. Like,
I bet.
Like, I mean, let's be honest. They are just the top tier professional BSers. Do you know what I'm saying? But like, not like, oh, I'm a conniving person. I mean, like, you can think on your feet, rapid style.
They're like full-time actors.
Right? So you got to ask yourself, what makes a good spy, Nick? Like, so for example, why would you go after Epstein to make him a spy and not Andrew?
I think because Epstein, I mean, shoot, nobody even knew who that guy was until there was a random article written about this.
Right. Okay. Anonymity.
Yeah. Anonymity. Right? And also because of his like love for kids, his elite, he's already
think like a spy. You got to think like a spy. You got to think like a spy here. Okay.
Well,
what did Epstein have that made him the perfect spy, right? What Epstein had was whatever you wanted.
Yeah, okay? That's true.
Mm-hmm. He was the guy that was facilitating that thing that made you isolated and alienated you from the rest of the world. He was a comforting, warm bosom to rest your twisted head on. And by God, if that isn't what it's all about, baby, because as long as you can be the guy who's close to the people you want information of, that makes the perfect spy. Mm-hmm. And if you even better, if your relationship is based off of secrecy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and I mean, all throughout Epstein's life, he continuously got these things that he definitely didn't deserve, like his teaching job, he was not qualified for. All of the things that he kind of has gotten himself into, he was not qualified for. So he must have schmoozed whoever was in the position. He must be good at figuring out what people want.
Yeah.
Get what he wants. Yeah.
And like, I'll be honest, it takes a lot to trigger me, right? And there's been a couple of things in the files that I read about in the PDF handbook on the dark web when I was doing my research for my documentary. And the PDF handbook is exactly what it sounds like. It's a PDF file that you download with information about how to be a PDF file. And it is, there's no pictures or anything like that, right? It's all just text. But
it's like, here's all the cheat code. Here's all the things you can find.
I'm not going to say anything, right? I'm not going to say anything. But when I heard the theory about the dentist chair and removing children's teeth, right? Mm-hmm. There's sections in that handbook about babies, right? And things. And that dentist chair haunts me now.
Yeah.
It haunts me now.
I already hated it before.
Well, he's a fucking weird guy, right? He was a weird guy, right? He was a weird guy. We didn't have, a former girlfriend who'd become a dentist person thing.
You know what he gives me? He gives me Adolf vibes with how weird he is into this like creepy human science.
Did Adolf touch any kids?
I mean, probably not, actually. I'm
not saying he's a good guy, and I'm not defending him. Total twat chops, okay? Total twat chops. Did he cut any kids? Because I'm thinking joint top with Adolf and Epstein are joint top. I'm going to give them joint top, okay? I'm going to give them joint top because Adolf killed a lot of people. Killed a lot of people. And in fact, you know what? A lot of them were kids. No, wait, a lot of them were kids. Adolf's number one. Adolf gets his place back on the top. You almost had me there. Fucking Adolf. Right. So you almost had me there, Adolf.
That's actually a good point, man.
Yeah. I'm looking at you down in hell now, buddy. You almost got there. You almost got that one. Yeah. So,
but the weird science stuff. I keep thinking about that. All the weird human experiments and genetic stuff.
Hitler, it was mad ideology, right? It was radical ideology. Okay. And with Epstein, he doesn't even get the grace, right, of being a radicalized lunatic. Okay. And you know what? We can't, this is going to sound really mad. Calling him a PDF file, calling him all the names we can think of, it's like under diluting a drink. Okay. It's like under serving the booze in a cocktail because it's not enough. Mm-hmm. Like just saying, he was a predator, he was a PDF file. That's like this much of the reality of the dark side of this man. And we're doing an interview tomorrow night all about human cloning. And I'm fascinated by the sciences of Epstein. Like I really am. Anyway, Nick, sorry, go back to what you were saying. Sorry, everyone. Listen, Nick's not a guest. We're co-hosting this. It's very much a conversation. And we're not meaning to interrupt. I'm not meaning to interrupt him. I'm sorry. But yeah, Nick, what you were saying. Sorry, Nick. Yes, you were saying he reminds you of Adolf, and then Ron went off on one. Continue with what you were saying.
Actually, that was all I was saying. I was just thinking about how all of his weird science is, because the only other time we've had that was, or at least that we know about it, is with World War II and the Nazis and doing human experiments, weird scientific human experiments that were like outlandish and didn't even really make much sense. And I feel like that's a lot of the stuff that we're finding with Epstein. But I think the craziest thing with Epstein is just how much he's bled into literally everything in society. Like stuff that you're like, no way. There's no way. And then you're like, oh, wait, okay, no, it's totally true. It's in the files. It's definitely something that is proven. And you're like, this guy got around.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? When it comes to making money, we can assume that's 0 hours per day because he's insider trading. He's insider trading, right? He's insider trading and he's blackmailing. So hours per day spent working, traditionally busting your ass working, 0. So I'm still wanting to know what his obsession was, because it's not, no one decides, oh, I'm going to be the greatest PDF monster in the world, right? That was his service, his passion that grew into his legacy. But what was his twisted dream, bro? Like, if being a twisted PDF human transporter is the day job, what is the aspiration to that to lead on to? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I definitely.
Because that's bad enough, bro. That's bad enough. But like, for example, people are like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. You become a YouTuber, then you have dreams to expand and do all of this. So what is the evil version of that? Because
my personal theory is, I was doing some research on the Mandelson stuff actually, and it said that Epstein would take out 40 grand in cash, I think a week, to pay all of these different people that he was victimizing. And that was because he had to have cash, so there was no paper trail. But the other thing, I was like, what else do you have to usually use cash for? Like, exclusively only takes cash. You can't put it on credit or debit. Drugs. And I was like, this is just an addiction. I think it started as a small addiction. And even if you look at his 50th anniversary or his 50th birthday book that Ghislaine made for him, even she mentioned, she puts like a picture, like a drawing of him, like giving kids balloons, like starting out small. And then at the end, she has a picture of him getting massages from young girls that are like mostly naked. And she comments on how far he's come, quote unquote. But it just reminds me of addiction. So maybe, like, you build tolerance for your addiction, and you keep seeking further and further ways to get that same initial high that you got when you first started. And I feel like for Epstein, that might be the same thing. And it might be multiple different things. Like there might be a high that comes with blackmail, and there might be a high that comes with trafficking. And
I'll fully get behind and endorse that off of his lust for children. Okay. I don't think that could have been his driving dream. And I could be wrong. What you've just told me there sounds a lot like his dream. No, what you just there sounds exactly like he was living his dream. This was his dream. That depiction of that really batters home that maybe I'm overthinking this. But my God,
maybe it wasn't his dream. Maybe it was him working for Mossad. This was his mission. This was his existence. And in order to do that, he had to look like he just lives this lavish. He had to be a guy that people wanted to know. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if he acts like he lives this lavish life, you know, all these young girls, and no matter, even taking Epstein completely out of the equation, how many celebrities do you see, or like football players or whatever, not football players, but like more coaches, they're old as dirt. There's no way that they could get some young, hot girl, but they always do. All these directors and movie stars, they always have young girls on their side. So even before it was Epstein, it's like, that's like a position of power, like, you know, trophy wife kind of thing. It's like a status symbol. And if Epstein has hundreds of girls running around his island or whatever, his mansion, that is the status there. I mean, it says something to people in that world.
Do you know what's really crazy, right? Years and years and years ago, I did design work for a couple of models, right? One of them, she'd be in her 60s, I would think now, but she was old school, right? She was an escort, and, you know, if any of the American actors came to London, she was the one that they would all want in their hotel room and all of this stuff. And then she just, one day, we're just talking about her website, and she just butters out this story about like Jack Nicholson and somebody else. And then she's like, oh yeah, and that was right before I met my husband, and he paid for me. And I was like, what? He was like, oh yeah, it was a common thing back then. You know, he offers you, you know, $5 million up front to marry them and be his trophy wife, and he'll give you everything you want and all of that. Da, 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 da. And I'm just sitting there like,
yeah, whoa.
Because obviously she was a high-end escort, right? So being handed wads of cash for herself is the normal to her, right? So it doesn't then go too beyond the thought process of, long-term lease contract as opposed to short-term lease contract, right? So that kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, same thing for any job. Like people are working for like a salaried job more than anything, or like YouTubers, you're working for sponsorships that are like paid long term.
Right.
So yeah, same thing.
It's crazy. And it was just totally normal to her. And now she's stuck in this miserable hell of a man. I mean, just wild. And she just blurted it out. So fixers, when it comes to women, okay, they definitely, not all of them are groomed. Not all of them are sucked into this. There is a lot of women that will sell their soul for the standard of life that they want. And that's not all of them. And that's not me shitting on survivors. I'm just being real with you, okay? For example, one second, Nick. For example, the crazy Norwegian princess, okay, who wanted to be Epstein's fangirl and wanted babies with him and all of this, and then ended up marrying the prince. Sorry, Nick, on you.
No, you're good. You were still talking. And that's super good point. I'm really curious about all the girls that he had, because like tons of the pictures and videos are girls who are sending him stuff. Like they're sending him photos of them naked or like lightly clothed, or like maybe he sends them something in the mail and then they're sending him pictures back or something. But I'm just curious about that relationship, like how these girls are still, because they could totally easily not have any contact with him if they're in another country or another state or another wherever, and they're still choosing to send this stuff, or seemingly choosing to send this stuff. But I would imagine they're being forced, like I wouldn't want to say forced, but like they have some reason to be sending him this stuff. But I'm just curious what that dynamic is like how he had that kind of power and control over these girls.
Well, it would be different levels, wouldn't it? It would be, are you complying? Are you also a monster? Yes. And then you'll have the next levels up, which are transportation, grooming, all of that. But right, sorry, I'm so sorry about the terminology I'm about to use here. This is me putting on my trying to understand it from a twisted criminal point of view. You'll have different grades of women, right? In the same way as you have different grades of beef, right? And you'll have the top edge, the potential princesses, right? Bosh, right up here, okay? And then underneath there, the super duper uber super duper models. You know what I mean? And down the list that we go. The more publicity your victim's capable of generating, the safer the handling of them have to be. Okay? And it's much easier to convince some poor Russian girl who's 20 that they've done something terrible and now you've got control of them. Do you see what I mean? Or make them witness to something or whatever. And when we spoke to Babs, I mean, that's exactly how they do it.
Maybe that's where the babies thing comes in. Maybe they're exposed to this, whatever, this sick organ harvesting, like whatever baby sacrificing network that they've got going on, and then they're kind of like stuck at that point. Like you've seen involved in that stuff.
I think organ harvesting is way below the pay grade of these people. Like I know the level of criminal that it's called repurposing, by the way. So you've got a baby. You earn money off that baby from when it's 1 to until it's 13, abused its whole life, and then it becomes too old to sell, so it gets repurposed for organ harvesting. And I actually interviewed a guy who from Poland done a whole documentary called The Eyes of the Devil. I think that's what it was called. It's something like that. All about human transportation cartel and doctors and low-income, vulnerable young mums and drug addict mums who are going to abort their child. And the paperwork's faked, and then the baby's put into one of their controlled foster care systems. It's trafficked, it's abused, and all that. He's not my guest. He's my co-host. Okay, this is our show. Okay, So stop bullying Ron. He's trying. He's got ADHD. He's really trying. He's really trying. Okay, I'm really trying. I'm sorry.
We've both got ADHD, so that makes it a little challenging.
Oh, go back and watch my last 2 interviews with guests. I shut up because I've got a guest on.
Oh wait, you do always talk about all your documentaries that you make. Like pretty much every like live stream or even just conversation we've had, you've mentioned one that you've done that I'm really interested in like checking out. Where are your documentaries available?
They're currently on my hard drive because YouTube deleted my channel. And I'll tell you now, ain't a single one of them would even remotely last on 2026 YouTube. So I'm doing a YouTube cut and then I'm going to do like a private premiere on my website for the uncut version. It's really just swear words and nothing is going to be unblurred. Okay, there's no like horrible crap you're going to see. But man, in fact, there's a lot of stuff that will be unblurred actually that needs to be blurred for YouTube, but will be partially blurred in the uncut, and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, they're coming. There's Hope Dies Here, which is my initial documentary after I realized how bad the PDF situation was. Then there is Hurtcore, which was a 2-year investigation into the PDFs that torture and brutalize rather than get traditional gratification. Then there's Crushed, which was an entire community on Facebook that my team infiltrated that were doing live streams of toddlers having planks of wood laid across them and then people standing on the planks of wood to make the kids scream. It's Crushed, basically. And everything all my documentaries always start off in the same place. On Orange YouTube for adults, the P Hub, because I want to show the legal side of the fetishized, smaller scale, bigger picture by the end of it. And the Hurtcore one is, I mean, they're all like 3 and 4 hours long, man. They're hard watches. There's Crash, and then Red Rooms, and then Red Rooms 2, all about the realities of people being tortured on the dark web for money. And the dark web is not designed for live streaming. The dark web is not designed for playing a video on me, okay? It's like 1992 dial-up. So I've been saying for 10 years, the same thing about these people I've been saying about Red Rooms. Red Rooms exist on Facebook. Red Rooms exist on Telegram. Red Rooms exist on WhatsApp because they are set up for that. They're encrypted. I recruit you. I tell you to go to the dark web. You prove that you're a weirdo. Then you get the link invite. You know what I'm saying? There was a guy that accidentally killed his pregnant girlfriend on a live stream about 3 years ago, right? Because his fan base paid to lock her out on the balcony, and he lived in Russia, and she froze to death during the live stream.
No way, that's crazy,
bro. It is the stuff. Why do I know this is? I just want to make camping videos, man. Like, I just want to make camping videos.
Oh, that's so funny.
A red room is the generalized term for a live streamed room where you can pay to have control of the unaliving and the horribleness that will be inflicted upon someone. And the only time I know that any of them were ever real was No Limits Fun and Peter Scully, when little girls were unalived. A video was made called Daisy's Destruction, and that was it for me. Once I heard about that was it, and now here we are. Now here we are, because what that little girl went through, she actually survived. Daisy, it was crazy. Our little sister was killed and buried in the kitchen of that man's house.
That is crazy.
Bro, it's beyond crazy.
I talked about the 764 group. I found a kid that lit himself on fire on a live stream, and saw the video. It was crazy, literally crazy.
Did you see the chat of the mods that convinced him to set himself on fire whilst he was burning alive?
Yeah, and the video I watched was the audio, and you can hear them they're like shouting out their gangs, and it was like
it could have been a celebration of like their high school freaking football team winning the league, right?
Yeah.
Or it could have been 764 unaliving somebody by making them set themselves on fire. Do you know what I mean?
I watched that, and then I had to go outside and like take a minute. I was like, that's freaking yeah,
yeah, man. I know what you're saying. You got to just go outside and just lie on the ground and just be like, oh, please suck out the knowledge from my head. I don't need this knowledge.
Yeah, you're like, I can't unsee that, but I guess, yeah. But I chose to watch that. I was like, I got to see this. Because people were saying that it was available on Reddit. So I was like, I got to see this. I got to see if this is real. And I wanted to hear the reactions of the kids. That's what everybody was talking about. Like, the video is bad, but then hearing the reaction of the people that are stoked about it, you're like, what kind of human being is this?
Right. I learned what kind of human being I was when my community years ago forced me to make a video all about the cartel killing videos, right? And I learned the kind of person that I am watches videos like this with the sound off, right?
Yeah.
And does this, right? And I mean, when I say, you ever really understood what peering through a crack in your fingers means? Like if you ever actually tried to really not look at something. It was like that. It was the worst thing I've ever. But I'll tell you what, it really puts in perspective. If you get knocked on the floor and there's a couple of guys holding you down, I never realized that a skilled man can basically take your knee, your leg where it bends at the knee, right? Apparently, if you just kind of go around it with something and then give it a yank, off it pops, right? And that blew my mind. That blew my mind. That was like,
yeah, you're like, whoa. Yeah, that's
now
crazy.
I just added another reason to the list to never be knocked on the floor in a fight ever. Do you know what I'm saying? It was terrifying. It was terrifying.
That sounds
but
terrible.
I couldn't watch it with the sound on or anything like that. Like I didn't even really watch them. Like I say, but that I learned. I'm not made for that, bro. Like I can't even watch people being cut in movies. Yeah, and I know it's fake. I feel it, bro. It's awful. Anyway, sorry, we're sidetracked. Anyway, right. So Mandelson, we'll find out what happens. Bit of a tool. Prince Andrew, formerly known as Prince, bit of a twat. We'll find out what happens with him. But the occult, bro, right? Like what it's I often say to people when they say, well, why are they all into this occult stuff? What is it about it all? Well, it's the classic, what do you get the guy for Christmas who's got everything, right? Like it's the forbidden knowledge. It's the like, for example, now bear with me. They're going to have to say something to convince the people that aren't into abusing kids to abuse some kids, right?
Yeah,
I'm just saying there's going to be a sales pitch, right? And there was a comedian who done a skit about becoming part of the Illuminati years ago, and they were going through the chat. They're like, "Oh yes, we're going to need you to sacrifice one of your family members." Yeah, exactly.
I did a video on him too, man. Yeah. Oh, so funny. I love that skit.
And then he's like, "We're going to have to film you doing a S act with a minor," and he's like, "Oh, no problem. We'll tick that off."
We're gonna need a self-exit note in your handwriting.
Right.
And he's like, I think I have one in my backpack. You want me to grab it right now?
It sounds ridiculous, right? It sounds ridiculous, right? But think about how many people are brainwashed by cults. Okay. It's like how many people believe the maddest crap ever, right? And I mean, don't even think about the cool, mad old cults. Like think about the really dumb ones, like the 12 members of the Astro Galactic Warden cult, where they all think that the octopus people are going to come back and liberate the planet. Like they believe that. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you've got billionaires, high priestesses, the occult, hidden and forbidden knowledge, that is going to appeal to a broad spectrum of people, right? Whether it's predators or whether it's monsters, it's going to appeal.
From my perspective, if somebody brought me in, I just became a famous actor or something, they're like, hey, we got to show you something. We're bringing you in to talk about pizza and chicken. I would be like, okay. And then I would go, and what would it take for me to then be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to join up? It would take me seeing something that is so convincing that I'm like, whoa, okay, maybe I do want to join. And then, or they have something on you to where you have to join.
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't work if you have to join. Like you can't be blackmailed into the occult. You can be blackmailed by the occult to be one of their tools or their weapons, but magic is all based on belief and will and intent, right? It's that simple, right? And you would definitely be blackmailed by the occult. But there's going to be some people where that'll appeal to them, right? And I often wonder what this.
You see it with Kanye and all these people that have spoken out about it, and they're immediately blacklisted. So it's obvious when somebody like they mess with your finances. Like either you're a part of it, or we're taking you out. You're not going to be famous. You're not going to have money. We're going to hate on you and smear you.
Well, someone listen. Christ, Jesus is king. Christ is king. Listen, I'm okay with Jesus, and I want you all to know the next thing I'm about to say has nothing to do with Jesus. My problem's with his dad, who decided to impregnate a very small teenage girl, okay? All right? With his spawn, all right? I got a problem with that. So when somebody had said all religions are cults. So the big three, we've got one who has a grand creator that impregnated a child. We've got another one that mutilates every baby boy when they're born. And we've got another one that says it's all right to go out and marry a 9-year-old. Brilliant. We're nailing it. Jesus is cool. Okay. I don't follow him, but I'm on good terms with him. Okay. Just so everyone knows, pagan, very proud pagan witch.
Same.
Jesus is cool. Jesus is a cool guy. Okay. He's just exactly as you would imagine him, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's the ultimate hippie carpenter dude. Like, I know a demon hunter who sometimes deities will come in when she's destroying demons, right? And she talks about some of the Indian deities, like that woman with all the arms and the swords. Like, she comes in and gets very violent with demons and slices them all up. And then Jesus comes in and just puts his hand on them and they go poof. Like, they just poof. Like, go. So, I mean, to me, that's a bit underwhelming, Jesus. All right? Like lightning bolt or like a bit of theatrics. A little bit of theatrics, Jesus. That would be good. I think you're... But, I mean, that's his whole shtick, right? His whole shtick is just like, I will kill you with love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, sometimes he needs to blip. You got to do the blip. Got to do the blip. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm down, man. And I'm telling you something. As somebody for my country to follow, my God's a war god, right?
Yeah.
Like he's God of wisdom, God of poetry. But at the center of it all, he's pretty badass, right? I mean, his whole afterlife is based along an eternal battle and an eternal party. Okay, so Jesus, as far as like love your enemies to death, that's how chill he is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can only defeat bad with love. Good and bad have to exist, right? And you can defeat bad people with love. Evil cannot be defeated, and that's why Jesus is getting his ass kicked right now, because you can't love these people to death, bro. Once the barbarians have cleared the battlefield for you, once the people like me have cleared the battlefield, you're ready to come back in and hit us with the frickin' drum circle, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's up. That's what's up. Manillas. Also, just so you know, white people have an N-word now. Vanilla, okay? That's what we are, because we're white. Which, by the way, is weird because vanilla's brown. But anyway, so it's now Manillas, okay? It's the Nilla Nation over on ProjectROOQ, and it's the inclusive N-word, okay? Doesn't matter what race you are, you can be part of the Nilla Nation. Manillas. Hell
Nilla Nation.
Hell yeah.
I didn't even think about
Nilla Nation, baby.
Really funny.
So, honestly, every time I go to say it out loud, I'm like, you say it right. You don't screw this up. You don't screw this up. You know what I'm saying?
Nowhere, yeah.
I've 100% success rate so far. 100%.
Hey, all right. Keep it up.
So the occult, and look, people laugh about this, right? Because, effigies, okay? It sounds silly, right? Well, if something represents something, it can't really have any power, right? Well, tell that to all the Christians that are munching on those wafers because it's an effigy, right? But also a bit mad, right? That it's a cannibalistic thing, right? It's a bit mad.
I didn't even think about that. You're eating the body of Christ. Yeah.
You're eating the blood and flesh effigy of Jeebus. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think he'd be down with that. I don't think he would be down with that at all. Okay? Also, can somebody tell me how many days he was in the cave for? Was it 3 days after he was nailed to the cross? Can someone confirm that for me? Because I want to know what he was up to for those 3 days. Do you think he was just chilling?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. He probably was.
I can't imagine he was just yanking because I imagine he got in there and just went because I feel like he had to go through the theatrics of it all, right? Okay, he didn't want to show people the true power of the mystic that he was. Do you know what I'm saying? I reckon he took him about 20 minutes to get off that cross, and then he just chilled out because he was like, this is going to be a lot once I get out of here. Once I get out of here, this is going to be a lot. You know what I mean?
Freak. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah, that was half an hour, and then he was in there just on an iPad, just tanning. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia repeats, man. 100%.
He was in a doom scroll for 3 days.
Right? Oh, he's just all the news on Jesus on TikTok. Jesus TikTok. It's just all about him being nailed to a cross. Nailed to a cross. Nailed to a cross.
He's scrolling with an actual scroll.
Yeah, he has to sit and watch Judas shit talk on him all day on his TikTok. Yeah, watching you, Judas. Anyway, I digress again. Also, big shout out to Odin, Freda, Thor. Big up to my gods.
Odin. I used to listen
It's not blasphemous. It's not blasphemous at all. No, listen, blasphemy that's the church that came up with blasphemy. The church can suck its mum. I'm a friend of Jesus, not a friend of the corporation, my G.
Oh man, have you seen the pictures of the Pope at the National Youth Day? And he's got the robe on with all the freaking triangles, the pizza triangles on there. I'm like, whoa, dude, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, but the effigy thing, you said that I was immediately convinced after I saw that Alex Jones video of the effigy of Bohemian Grove and the effigy.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're talking about. Thank you.
Yeah. And I was just like, whoa, this is, even if it isn't a real child, even if this has nothing to do with anything, it's weird as hell. What are these people doing?
It's definitely a real child. 100% definitely a real child.
That's what I thought. I'm like, it's definitely a real child.
Yeah,
but I'm like, even
100%.
if it's not, even if they can convince people it's not a real child, what the hell are you guys doing in the woods doing this weird ass ceremony? Super weird, bro.
So we've seen so many times celebrities, you've seen it yourself, they're sitting around tables, there's heads of living people popping through the tables, there's all of this nod to consumption of human flesh. Now we have
people.
Now we have the jerky side of things, which is battering home once again the consumption of flesh. Now,
oh my God.
Some of you are going to turn off the live stream when I say this, right? But I have a strong feeling this is all to do with eternal life. And let's just, for the sake of it, just use the word vampire as an analogy of this, right? An ever-living, flesh-munching, blood-sucking rascal. Okay? It's a good way of summing it up, right? Mm-hmm. Because Big Homie and a few other people from throughout Hollywood have spoken about meeting very bizarre individuals that will make you an offer, right? And Big Homie was made an offer, by one of these tall, skinny, pale, cold-handed freak shows. And he turned it down, and that was that. But as soon as that person left his vicinity, everybody that was within the industry came up and said, do you know who that is? Do you know who that is? What did he say to you? What was this? And you'll find out more about that in the documentary, The Occult, that will be out hopefully next week. Because the elites freaking, I'll be honest, anyone who's got £1 billion and then dies still having £1 billion doesn't know how to spend money for a start. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't know how to spend money.
If it's money, to spend.
So these individuals and their want to live forever, I think, is the driving force. I think it was a major thing for Epstein. I think that now you can't even say it when you go, oh, I know what you're talking about. But the drink that they apparently make from little people, right? I fully believe that's what we're looking at, right? Do you know that science has done some weird study on sniffing a newborn's head, right? Like when you're holding your baby, parents, you know what I'm saying, right? You know what? Every parent gets addicted to sniffing their baby's head, right? It's adorable. Oh, you smell like a newborn baby. Oh, you smell like a newborn baby. And then they go through that weird smelling like sour milk phase, right? But other than that, science has done a test where something changes in the human body, right? When you sniff a baby's head, right? Oddly enough, lines up with Biden sniffing a bunch of kids' heads.
Oh, yeah. So weird.
But now bear with me. If the drug's so potent that outside the packaging, if you sniff it, you kind of get a bit high, then there's maybe something going on inside that packaging, right? Yeah. So it kind of blows my mind a little bit because I used, when I hold Nova, and she's got hair now, she's got a literal microphone head, my daughter, right? But when she was a tiny little thing, and you're like, it's like calming, and it's like, this is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Never thought to myself, let's crack it open and like drink it. Do you know what I mean? So, but it makes me wonder, just that one data point from my own existence, right? Does that speak for a broader picture? Does that speak to, or is it because that's my daughter? Like, is it a genetic, like, is that the chemical in my brain that's going to stop me eating my kids if I'm ever cold and hungry that we developed in the caveman days? Like, is it that that's kicking in, or is it something else?
Yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, it's definitely interesting because me personally, I'm not a huge fan of other people's kids. So, like when my kid was born and experiencing all those things, just how infatuated with him I was. It's different when it's your kid, but having that feeling for other people's kids or just babies in general, there has to be something deeper there. But I was gonna say before, have you seen the stuff about the Monsters Inc. comparison to the whole? Yeah, like it's kind of interesting to see that it's so mainstream, but
give me, no, you tell me about it, because my Monsters Inc. story, I'll tell you that after, but it's going to be different from yours. But tell me yours.
Well, I mean, I never even thought of it. I literally love Monsters Inc. It is like one of my favorite, like Pixar, whatever Disney movie. I don't even know what it is, but it's one of my favorite like kids movies. And I was watching this other video talking about the comparison between it, and I was like, "Whoa, this is totally crazy."
Tell me what the comparisons are.
So the whole basis of the movie is that these monsters are going into kids' bedrooms using these special doors, these secret special doors that nobody else has access to except for this company. They go into these kids' rooms and they harness their screams. They scare them so bad that they harness the screams out of them. And then at the end of the movie, they end up.
You're talking about the drink that we can't mention. And that's what you're talking about. Okay, that makes sense.
They're harnessing these kids' screams into energy and power for their society or their monster or whatever. This is what everybody uses to get. They use it for energy, I think. But yeah, so they're going in, scaring these kids, which is not too far off from what they're literally doing exactly. It's just that there's an extra step to that. Whereas these kids in the movie, they can continuously go back and forth into their room and continuously do this until the kid is no longer scared, I guess, and then they just find new kids.
Do you know what? I'll take that. I will give you an A+ for that, because mine. Anyone know who this is?
Slender Man?
No. You'll know. If you have been visited by this man, like I was visited by this man for 2 decades, put a 1 in the side chat. Because I believe that the story of Monsters Inc. tells the story of, and do you know what? Yours is way better than mine. Like you nailed it with the fear and all of that. You nailed it, right? So
because it's almost exactly the same. It's just missing one step, the blood piece.
Zorro.
That's Zorro.
It's going to take a while before someone tops that one. That's a banger. So there's a phenomenon called the Man in the Hat, right? Where they actually done a documentary about this called Nightmare. You can go and watch it. And it's all about sleep paralysis and about how tens of thousands of people around the world are having the same experience that can't be explained by science, where a man in the hat will turn up and you'll be trapped in your bed and the shadow people turn up and all the rest of it. Now, I've got a long history with these, right? And what's interesting is they terrify you in your sleep, right? They terrify you in your sleep. But I can't remember them ever touching me or hurting me. They just wanted me to be scared. And as I got older, the level that they went to produce that fear got bigger, almost as if they would only ever give you what you could handle. Now, if their energy, if their food source is your fear, right? You got to kind of change your perspective here. Okay, they're not just scaring you, they're just going out for a pizza, right? So it kind of changed my perspective on these interdimensional fear feeders, as I call them, because they never really done anything but pollute my dreams. But as I got older, it got to an episode of that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where they bent time. You know, like when the cities would fold in half, and it got really, really intense. And then it got to the point where I would wake up in my dream, live 4 or 5 hours of my life, and then realize I was still in the dream. That's when that was at its most terrifying. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I learned how to lucid dream that as soon as I, in the dream, went, well, actually, no, this is my dream, put on the Iron Man suit and started blasting them, they left forever. Inception, thank you, yes. Left forever, mate. Left forever. They keep, maybe every year, they'll try. The scene in Train, you ever seen Trainspotting?
Mm-hmm.
You know this scene where he's ODing and he sinks into the carpet and he's sinking into the floor? That's what it feels like. If you're falling asleep and you feel like that, the shadow people are about to come. And I physically have to violently shake my head so that I'll stop myself from hitting the paralyzed REMs, like falling into sleep. Because it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. But I mean, terrified.
Because Kim and I plan to talk about lucid dreaming later on our live stream. So it's kind of interesting that you mentioned that story, because that's exactly what because there's different types. Like you can intentionally try and go in and like lucid dream to do whatever you want, but there's also ways you can interact in your dream, which is considered lucid dreaming. And that would definitely be considered lucid dreaming right there.
I would, Well, I just want to say, I actually prefer your analogy of Monsters, Inc. I think they're more likely going to put that in our faces than the explanation for fear feeders, if I'm being honest. Like, so I'm now going to change what I think Monsters, Inc. is to the horrible milkshake.
I wish I could take credit for it. Somebody else figured that out, but I was like, holy cow, that makes way too much sense to just ignore, you know?
I'm gonna post on Reddit that you told me that you came up with that theory, and I'm gonna put a picture of you. I'm gonna be like, this guy's pure claiming this, by the way. So
this freaking guy. But the other thing, one of my subscribers was like, did you know that you could purchase that stuff online, the internet? And there's literally companies that's what they produce.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. Well, let's do it. Let's buy some. Let's do it. Let's see what turns up.
Because I know, right? I thought about it.
You can buy a lot of things on the internet. And if one of those things isn't something that you would phone up a vetting agency and say, hey, I've just spent, like, for example, if you ordered a very embarrassing adult toy, right? How many people are looking into it if it doesn't get delivered, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, who's actually contacting their bank? Okay. Do you know what I'm saying?
So it'd be hilarious to do, though.
So how many people are going to phone up and be like, oh, my freaking Monsters Inc. juice didn't turn up? No one.
Yeah.
So,
nobody.
I mean, I remember seeing 4 or 5 different strains of the virus that we all went through for sale on the dark web. Do you know what I'm saying? Mate, yeah, but I see a lot of things for sale on the dark web, none of which I'd be phoning my MasterCard or my freaking my wallet operator and being like, oh, mate, I tried to buy 40 AKs off of the dark web and a couple of babies, and they never turned up. Can we look into this, please? No one's doing that. Okay, that's why people that rob substance sellers have the perfect business model, because no one's phoning the police and reporting their substances stolen. Do you know what I mean?
So true. This wasn't on the dark web, though. You can literally just Google it, and it'll pop up as like a shopping item.
All right. Crazy. Okay. I'm not believing this.
I didn't either. That's why I had to do it. I was like, I think I was live, and somebody was like, "You got to."
Oh my God!
No way. I was like, "Wait, you could just buy this stuff? Then why do they have to harness kids? You could just buy it online." Oh wait, because they're the one.
Whoa!
Industry,
bro.
You can just buy it, dude.
You can just buy it.
I know, right? I was like, "What?" That's
wait, listen. Like, if we can get it for 2K, right? And then we find the celebrities and we tell them it's 30K, right?
That's right.
Do you know what I'm saying? This is crazy. I don't know if I can show this. I don't think I can show this. I can't. No, I definitely can't show this because the word's on the screen. I hear you, Shaun. I can hear Shaun at home going, no, don't show it. No, I'm not going to, bro. I got you.
You know what's ironic is that you probably just searched it on Google and you found it.
I just searched it on Google.
Yeah, but you can't show it on YouTube, which is also.
Oh no. Just for Shaun's health, right? To be honest, like the guy's gone through enough stress over the last couple of years. He doesn't need me contributing anymore. I already put a red potion in the thumbnail. Okay.
Anybody and everybody can open a new tab on their browser and type in the same thing, and they'll get the same result. So
they've even got it in different.
I was looking at
capsules.
To see what these. Yeah, I was like, if you can't do the capsules, they think they have like dissolving or chewable form or something.
Oh yeah, well they've made it real simple. This can't be. I need to order this. We need to order some. I need to order some.
And I don't think
Shaun,
it was. I think it was.
I'm using the company card. Don't. If the police turn up at your house, okay, we know it's a honeypot. Damn.
I just was like, what is the official use? Like I don't feel like they have like.
That's a good idea. Okay,
like, what are the directions for use here?
Here's the description. The word I cannot say is a oxidation product of adrenaline. It inhabits COMT promotes the synthesis of prostaglandins in the brain tissue. In vitro promotes the secretion of nerve growth. Oh, that is the actual thing. This website's copyrighted at 2016.
Oh, dude, I was just telling Kim, there's years that just stick out to me that are just like weird years, and 2016 is one of them because that was the whole pizza year. That's when all the pizza.
I'm buying some.
And if you look at it, the amount that you get is hella small for like the price that you pay. It's pretty wild.
But what if I buy it and I take it and it's like that freaking like, what was that movie where the guy takes the pill and he becomes like invincible or something like that?
Yeah, they become like
superhuman. Bro, this is crazy. We're going to have to order this. We need, like, I need to know. And then I need to send it somewhere so that somebody who knows can test it for what it is.
See what it is, yeah.
Yeah. And then we give a little bit to one mouse and then none to another and see if the mouse that's taking it abuses the children of the other mouse suddenly. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, does it have an overwhelming urge to just destroy the children of the other mouse and like try and invest in like absolutely horrific sciences and like try and set up princes with their wives because something's going on?
That is not where I expected you to go with that. That cracked me.
No, fear and loathing stuff. Do you know what fear and loathing for sure? That was a raw human adrenaline gland, right? That was a raw.
It took too much,
right? It took too much. That I swear to God, I watched that movie so many times in my life, but at such jarringly different parts of my adulthood. Like I think I seen it originally when I was like 15, right? And I was like, I expected because you hear about it. Right. Mm. But you don't realize how much you need to know about substances to watch a movie. So I'm watching it and I'm like, I get the, acid makes you see things. Oh yeah, I get that. But the rest of it, little 15-year-old me was like,
same. Yeah. It hits different every single time you watch it. Cause you're like a little more refined. You're like, okay,
don't order it. You don't know where it's from. I'm not going to take it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take it. Ordering and taking it, I'm definitely not going to take it, right? If I had a laboratory, we could definitely make some content out of one of those getting put in a mouse. But no, as soon as I find somewhere that is selling this at an affordable price, like a couple $100, we're ordering some.
Well, see, I just wonder, like, you didn't know it was available. I didn't know it was available. Both of us talk about this stuff frequently. So it's like, how many other people don't know it's available online? And also, like, why is it available online?
Right? Plus, if I ever get kidnapped by the elites and I whip out a little packet of that, I can be like, look, take it. Ignore the Swanson. See it, fetch. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But here's the obvious question. How are they producing this? Okay, they sell it. How are they producing it? That's the obvious question. And these are companies. So like,
it's literally named that. Like it's literally named that. Right?
Yeah, there's no like, it's not even like got a scientific name or something. It's just called
that. And here's it's safety information. Word I can't be saying. Oh no, that's the description. Safety information. Wash hands thoroughly after handling. Wash skin thoroughly after handling. Do not eat, drink, or smoke when using the. Wait, what? Do not eat, drink, or smoke while using the product. Well, I mean, you could say that about anything. You could say that about a cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be chewing, smoking, or drinking whilst consuming a cheeseburger. Rinse mouth. Dissolve contents in a container. Oh my God.
Crazy, right? Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember which subscriber told me about it, but shout out to them. And I was just like, there's no way. And I said the same thing. I was like, let's buy some. And they're like, no.
Oh, no, we're definitely buying some. 100%.
I was like, we have to buy some. We got to figure this out. Of course. If I wasn't poor, I would have totally bought some at the time. I was like, I can't afford that. It's outside my price. I'm not in that status, social class.
Storage temperature -20.
Whoa! That you gotta have like, isn't that?
Wait, it's Celsius. It's Celsius. I think that's the fake temperature, isn't it? That's the crazy one where it's like.
This would be 0, right?
Oh,
freaking nuts! Yeah, I still can't believe it's just available on Google, and I still want to know how they get it. Even if I want to know what their explanation is, like. I wonder if they have an explanation as to how they produce this stuff, like on their About Us section, because even I want to know what their explanation is, whether it's true or not. I'm just curious what they're saying about it.
Okay, hang on. Do you know what we'll do? Let's go to another company selling this and see if they have a bigger description.
-20 Celsius, -4 Fahrenheit. That's like
it's freezing. Like, it's four below freezing, right?
Like,
so
that's like dry ice frozen though, like because it has to be cold. Freezing is 32 degrees for Fahrenheit, and 0 Celsius, so it has to be colder than freezing.
Yeah, -4 is like what you would legally have to store chicken for it to be frozen. So it's food standard safe minimum standard for being frozen. So just basically it needs to be frozen, right? So wow, the Kurt Cobain interview dude wants to come on. Oh, that's what Sarah was saying. She was having a freak out. Sarah never phones me mid mid live stream unless there's something catastrophic, like I've accidentally mispronounced frickin' Nilla, or like there's something amazing to report. So yeah, we'll set that up. We'll set it up.
Yeah, Charlie called me and then he was like, "Yo, is this legit?" And I was like, "Hell yes, Shaun, hit him up. That's freaking sick. Thank you for doing that, Shaun, because Charlie's the man." And
thank you, Sarah. Thank you for producer Sarah, not thank you, Shaun.
Oh,
okay.
Thank
you, producer Sarah. Shaun will get his credit when he's due credit. But yeah, producer Sarah.
So, thank you, Sarah.
Obviously, Shaun's the clout that sells the transaction. Do you know what I'm saying? He's the big ticket item that closes the sale. So yeah, I'm excited. So as far as buying this stuff, there's a lot of places I can buy it from. Let's have a look at this place.
You're like, I have options? Shoot, man, I got options.
Do you know what's interesting though? The last 3 websites I've looked at look like they're all made from the same template.
Yeah. They're very like medical looking. They're like they're boring as hell. Like they're not a fun website at all.
Well, is that but that's another thing, bro. Like think about user interaction when it comes to upselling. Like if you look at anything that wants to be upsold, they make a point of it. These medical sites aren't doing that. And I mean, it's right there. For research only, we do not sell to patients. Okay, so what would I need to get a license to research something? Do you know what I mean? Because in the same way as we've got the whole controversy with Wayfair, where there was furniture posted with kids' names and crazy prices, it's not out of the question to think that these sort of things are a free sample.
Let's get a free sample. You get a trial. Well, that's how they get you. Just like with crack or whatever else, you give them a taste and then they come back for more.
So let's now think about all of the scientists and research bros that are connected to Epstein. Okay. And look at the big picture of what can be brought in. Do you know what I'm saying? We've all grown up. We all have had that one mad person who knows a vet and can get that horse tranquilizer. And if you just so happen to do certain things with it, certain things will happen, right? So we have to assume that the billionaires have the similar friends. This is crazy.
Well, and if you think about how much Epstein already has, how much we're finding Epstein had his hands in, it's everything. So that wouldn't make, if he's not involved with this, I'd be real surprised.
Do you know, we need to investigate and shut them down. Do you know what we need to do? We need to get a scientist on to explain what the hell we're looking at. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm curious, like, what is the official, like, how can they just offer this #1 search result on Google to, like, because you don't have to search very hard to find it. So what's the actual purpose? You know, who's taking this?
Here's the thing. Maybe the term that we can't say is a generalized term because it's so similar to what we're looking at in the science table. Again, the word that we can't name. Maybe it's given that name because it has similar effects to this. But I'm not being funny, bro. In the same way as the Pope should have changed his sash, okay, after the FBI released those symbols, you might want to like throw a Twitter description under this. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a community note saying, just so you know, this title was given to this many years ago and has nothing to do with the Clintons. You know what I'm saying? But we need to get does anyone know any science dudes? If anyone knows any science dudes or any YouTuber science dudes, let producer Sarah know, or Shane, because we need a university guy, like a professor, to come on and just explain this. Unfortunately, he won't be able to say any of the words, right? But we can maybe I'll do it pre-recorded and then we'll just put like a funny symbol or a symbol on the screen every time he says it, and we have to edit it out or whatever. But I can't believe this. And
just call it like a shortened version of it or something.
Bro, when we talk about, and people say, well, then why would this be happening? Why would they do this? Well, money, right? Also, transportation. What do you mean? Well, if you've got a research facility that's selling a test chemical, okay, and believe me, if you Google industrial test chemicals, you will see how flippant it is to be able to send these things out. If you all remember the Legal Highs pandemic in the UK, where people were selling bath salts, not and plant feeder and things like this. You know, for example, MDMA, illegal, right? But MDMB, MDMC, MDME, all legal. So you just change one little shenanigan and it changes. And as long as you say not for human consumption, you can rattle them out, right? Until the laws were changed, right?
Yep.
So I'm wondering if what we're looking at here is almost like the wannabe member of the club first step, right? You order some, you're taking it, maybe they then cut you off. Because all I'm saying that Hillary Clinton seems to have gone through some changes, bro. Okay, a lot of celebrities are looking like they're going through some changes, and I ain't talking about the hot flushes, ladies. Okay, I'm talking about some rapid aging. Okay, rapid aging,
super rapid.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've been talking for like half an hour, bro. Have you even said anything? I mean, I just chewing your ear off right now because you triggered me with this, so I'm going to give you half the blames on you. Like you started this.
No, I'm totally fine with that. I'm just glad that you hadn't heard of it because. See, I can bring something to the table, but
we should call our podcast Sidetrack Podcast.
Yeah, we
should. Or the
Side
Quest Podcast or something like that. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to call
it. Podcast. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Side Quest Podcast. What happens when two guys on the internet with ADHD try and have a topic to talk about? And it's just like,
yeah, but
talk about what people came here to hear about. Come on. So if you see Sidetrack Podcast and it's like Epstein files and then there's nothing else under it, just know there's a good chance we're just going to be ranting about different aspects of this, because I'll be honest with you, this kind of show is very different than a presentation. This is a discussion and a deep dive, and it's my one chance every week where I sit with someone like Nick and we kind of talk and we look into, because for starters, like I said earlier, looking into the conspiracies, because it was one of my guests said, I don't know what to believe about the Epstein files. It's all just a Twitter conspiracy or a TikTok conspiracy, right? I'm never on TikTok. I don't know what's going on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I want to look into a lot more and see what conspiracies become conspirafacts over the years. Hang on a second.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. Well, and
did you hear? Oh, sorry. Please, Nick. Please, on you go, brother. Please.
What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Go ahead. I'll think about it.
Yeah, that's okay. Did you hear that Andrew's alleged reaction to being arrested? Kerry, I imagine it was underwhelming and full of BS. You can tell me how accurate it is, but let me know in the side chat, because the man said he didn't sweat. Okay.
I know that was the funniest thing I ever heard in my life.
I couldn't possibly be a dirty R-worder because I don't sweat. Wow.
That whole interview is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Him trying.
Someone's taken it, and every time he opens his mouth and says something, it then cuts to an Epstein file where he's lied about what he's just said. Right? It's oh man, I'd pay good money. I would pay good money for one picture of him sweating his nut off.
I know, one just sweaty picture.
Like he's just stood in like a tennis court, pissing sweat, just dripping off of him.
Yeah, seriously. I'm sure there has to be one.
Sidetrack Podcast, 100%. Yeah, okay, nice one. It has been born here. You heard it happen here, baby.
Thank you. That's what I was gonna say. Because I do deep dives every week, like the official formal story narrative videos where I go through it real formally. But that's what deep diving looks like. You have a question, you look that up, and then you immediately have 3 new questions or things you have to look at. And then by the end of it, you're looking at a whole different topic and you're like, okay, I got to refocus. So like even deep diving, not even with like ADHD or anything, that's just how it is with the conspiracy stuff. Because there's so many it's a huge net, and it all kind of tracks back to the same thing. You're putting all these pieces together, and you have to really understand all the pieces. And as you understand a new piece, you learn about other pieces that also connect to that piece. It's just a never ending side quest is really what it is.
Oh no, 100%. 100%. I tell you what, we could also do a section each week where you're talking about what you've got coming up. That'd be a good little plug.
Yeah, and this week I'm doing Nancy Guthrie. I've seen a bunch of stuff about possible Epstein connections in Grand Junction, Colorado, which is like 3 hours from me.
The missing mum? Is that the missing mum lady? Is that the missing mum?
Yeah, that's the missing mom lady. Yeah, and she's still missing. And I don't even believe the FBI released that video of whoever it was, the suspect in the Ring camera. I don't even believe that that's real. That could be totally made up footage that they filmed themselves on a freaking Ring camera. Like, who are we to
bro? Of course,
it looks fake. And the FBI releasing it when they're not even involved in the case. Like, the local police are trying to keep them out of the case, and the FBI waited 10 days and then was like, "We feel like we have to release this footage," and then they do. It's just everything that they do seems really funny to me after Kash Patel got in.
Yeah. Listen, bro. If you gave the FBI over to somebody who looks like he is just rattling the bingo, like, I mean, just what did you have for breakfast this morning, Kash? A fat one off of the mirror. Like, he looks like the sort of guy that tries to take like a half an ounce of the stuff and do like the Shape of America, like in that Nicolas Cage movie where they done like the Shape of Israel in just monumentous amount of freaking shenanigans. Yeah, 100%. Can I just say something? I don't want anyone to think I'm crazy, but
too late.
I really feel like the bad guys are targeting my Google search results. Okay, because everything I type in, it refuses to give me anything I look for. Right, so I'm looking for the picture of Maxwell, and the blonde Maxwell lookalike, or the blonde Maxwell, doesn't exist on my search results anymore. Okay, like everything has been wiped that I'm looking for. Call me crazy. Okay.
No, man, I actually saw a video just talking about this. They're like, has anybody else realized that their Google search results have not been good at all lately?
No.
And they were saying that they think they're trying to push people to AI.
Bro, listen, I just put in Maxwell spotted, right? Mm-hmm. So surely there's nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe Ghislaine?
All the, you know what I do nowadays is I just use Grok to find pictures or videos because he'll usually pull up a direct link. But otherwise, I have a hard time finding stuff these days on just Google search or just searches.
Oh, here we go. So, okay, I need to allow ads. Oh my God. Turn that off. Okay, so somebody in the side chat has asked what I thought about this. So if you'd asked me the other day, I would have just been, come on. It's just a lookalike. I mean, it's clearly a lookalike. Now I'm kind of like, I don't know. Okay. I don't know.
I hate to burst the bubble, but I just made a video about how the guy that posted the original video, that's what he does. He makes all those videos that just AI videos.
See,
in my video, you'll see the text thread he has with this person, and he is such a douche about it. But it's just AI video, and they're like, dude, you shouldn't do that. You suck. And he's like, I'm making tons of money. I doubt he is, but he's on TikTok and X and Instagram.
Well, I mean, he got people talking, bro. He got people talking, right? Because there were so many people ranting about dentistry and the nose and all of this.
It was on too, and the eye that's slightly closed and lower. Like, it was all spot on.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
So here we go. It's been hit here as a fake. In February, a video circulated online that appeared to show Ghislaine Maxwell, former partner, blah, 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 blah. The video is a person appeared to bump into Maxwell, asking Ghislaine, conspiracy reporting. One Instagram user who posted a video wrote, "It's Ghislaine Maxwell and her brother Ghislaine. I'm not being funny, right? But I'm kind of the school of thinking now that if they are alive, this is the sort of crap they'd be doing. Okay? Yeah. Because, like, a bearded Epstein mulling about Israel and Maxwell's twin spotted in the street. Do you think maybe
everybody's going to be like, oh, we can't trust any photos. No photo of them is real. So it's a good way to have insight.
we've got to remember we're talking about what we all think is the Illuminati, the New World Order, the bloodlines, right? And we all, and listen, I'm telling you all that you've all agreed to this throughout live streams, okay? You all believe in the cabal. We all believe in all this occult stuff, right? We all believe that they put their symbols in our faces. So I'm not being funny. Could this not just be the next stage of the ritual for them, where they're seen as unalived and in prison, and as part of their contract and deal, they have to do stupid crap like this because it bolsters the energy around the world that is being put into this? Maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you know what I'm saying? I can't think like them because they're psychopaths, but
even on the very minimal level, even if it's not the occult or somebody, it's definitely people in power trying to convolute the situation, in my opinion, that are trying, like, I just feel like there's somebody that is behind this, that is pushing this disinformation, because
of course there is.
Like, there's so much nonsense out there that people are like, even if they see it with their eyes now, they don't trust their eyes. And that's what they want, is they want us to be
ever since we were told men in caves, right, flew planes into buildings, they've been pissing their pants at us. Okay. Yep. They were like, no, there's no way they're going to believe the building fell down into perfectly cut 30-foot pieces of girder, perfectly usable for another construction. Nothing sus about that. Nothing sus about a crime scene being cemented and just eradicated before. Nothing suspicious at all, mate. Nothing suspicious about the most heavily guarded, like, Pentagon-shaped building in the world. More cameras than freaking cameras are us, and we get a blurry picture of what looks like a marital aid being thrown in front of a camera. Mad that. Also, you know, there was another plane that the passengers took down, right?
Oh,
no one ever talks about that. Why is it on 9/11? Is it the biggest deal not made about the survivor or the people that passed away on the plane that was taken down? Because that wasn't part of the plan, baby. That wasn't part. I heard it was 9 guys from Glasgow that were on that flight, from Paisley. In fact, I'm just saying, on the Scots. But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this right now. If I was the guy that posted this, and I posted it, and the Illuminati phoned me up and said, "You better change your story quite quick," I'd be changing my story quite quick too. And we all have to agree that we would do that. So
that's true.
Like,
it was a retroactive post. He came out and said after the fact, like, yeah, it's AI. He had to put an AI tag on it.
I'm sure he did, pal. I'm sure he did.
Like a week before that happened.
Listen, whoever just said 9 guys in Bonnie Blue, that's a short day for Bonnie Blue. That much, she must have like broke her ankle. Right? Like, that's a terrible number for her. That is a short day. I've got a video coming up about her. Okay. I have got a video coming up about her where we're going to look in the world through the eyes. Okay. Through the eyes of Billy Blue, the male version, the hypothetical male version of Bonnie Blue, driving around in his bang van to pick up 16-year-old girls from high school to make content with. How do you think that would go down? Eh? How do you think that? Because that's what she's doing. She is driving around in a bang bus, picking up high school boys who are 16 and 17 for her schoolies tour.
That's crazy.
Bro.
Yeah, I have not heard of that.
What? Bro. And she's British. She's as British as they come. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a bad analogy. But, like, she's doing, like, honestly, she's the only time I think I've ever witnessed the soul missing from someone's eyes based off of them being trapped in a web of their own doing.
Mm-hmm. Damn, I gotta look this up.
Because man, when you see the world through the eyes of Billy Blue, there will be hate mobs after him. Hate mobs. Okay, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's angry mums with metaphorical pitchforks going after her. But society laughs at Bonnie Blue, laughs at her. Okay, if that was Billy Blue, this would be a whole different. He would have lasted 24 hours online before everybody from Ireland just flew over to teach him a lesson just cause. They were like, "We can't be leaving them up for this one, boys. Let's nip it in the bud now." They'd be over here and deal with it. They would deal with it so fast.
Yep.
Just another one we owe you, Ireland. Another one we owe you. You know what I'm saying? What do you think of the elites are going, okay. To be honest, let me put it in perspective for you. Anyone who's got a wife and kids isn't going to be saying anything, okay? Because they're the first ones to be used as leverage. Okay, this isn't about money. This is about keep your mouth shut. Okay, any of you who think anyone's going to talk in the Epstein case, you're going to see people unalived before you're going to see people talking. Okay, and I mean, everyone is all of a sudden going to be real depressed, writing a whole bunch of notes about why they're so depressed. But trust me, bro, it's nothing to do with the files. I'm just feeling real down, and they're going to exit because that's how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we had a eyewitness with a photograph of a prince that was so terrified of what would happen, she had to take a cash deal because she was probably told what would happen to her children if she didn't take the deal and shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Because people that say, oh, you can't buy everyone off. No, you can't. You definitely cannot buy everyone off. But you can take one of their kids and turn them into a handbag. I'm sure that would make a lot of people highly motivated.
Oh,
especially if you've got 2 kids left. Huh, you know what I'm saying? You don't need the matching purse and the freaking shoes. You know what I'm saying? So trust me. If your mindset is it's all about money doesn't control the world. Leverage controls the world. Okay. Mm-hmm. Leverage is power. True power.
The blackmail thing, because even like money is one thing, but when you have something over them that could not only threaten their money, their ability to make money, but also their status as a person in society.
Money is what gets you in the door. Okay. Big money is what keeps you inside. But what you do inside is the guarantee that you'll do as you're told.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I'm going to film it all. And here's another thing. What about all the people who aren't perverts? And what about all the people who won't cheat on their wives? What about those people? Well, Epstein had video cameras in the toilets, right? And for some people, taking a really loud poo, like you've been holding in farts all night, right? And you just unleash the fury. That's enough for some people. The fear of that humiliation is maybe not to cover up PDF stuff, but to like push through some bullshit legislation or like put order form in for some of that stuff that we just seen or whatever, right? That could be enough for that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, everyone who's laughing in the side chat, we've all been on first dates where we've had to hold in farts all night and then our stomach is cramping. And then the worst part is if you go back to your date's house and you're slowly trying to let it out in their bathroom, you're like, and it never comes. It always does. It never ever is on your side. It's never on your side. It's always catastrophic. So,
dumb and dumber status,
bro. I've been there, man. I don't even want to tell it. That's a story for another night. But this is mad, okay? And whether it's AI, that's okay. But if this was real, this to me is exactly the sort of thing they would do. Bearded Epstein, blonde Maxwell with her brother, like all of this makes perfect sense to the metaphorical rubbing the puppy's face in its own muck, right? Except we're the puppy and it's their muck, right? We've been wrongly muck rubbed. Do you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Well, they keep talking about how it would just crumble civilization if all these people were starting to be brought down. And I mean, I can kind of see it because it is like a lot of, but I mean, kind of, don't we want that? I mean, in a way, we kind of need like a restructure.
Bro. Do you want to know the biggest lie, right? So if it's 1% that are into this, if it's just the 1%, right? And they think society is going to fall apart, brilliant. If the whole thing's going to come caving down, I heard someone say, turn the files into trials, okay? Like,
that's good.
This is not going to go away, okay? And I tell you where the next big shift in mindset is going to be, is when all of the candidates for the midterms are doing their midterm shit, right? And they're walking around and everyone inside that's listening to them is a paid actor. And there's thousands of people screaming on the outside about these kids. Okay. That's what I think, because
I think you're right.
I seen it happen here with a kid, the king, when he was doing his coronation, walk through my town and they couldn't play the sound on the news because of the abuse that all the public were shouting at him.
Wow.
Nice one.
Crazy. Yeah.
So we're going to see. People are saying, why are people not protesting this? Why are they not out there in the streets? Why are they not doing this? Why are they not doing that? Well, I think a lot of people are struggling where to start. And the problem is, if I'm going to be out there protesting anything, it's not going to be Epstein. I'm very sorry. I'm going to be protesting the death cult that's infiltrated my country.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because here's the order of care. My children come before anyone else's children, right? Then the children of Scotland come before anyone else. Then the children of Britain. Then the children of the world, okay? And currently, in Scotland and Britain, there's a lot of people doing a lot of things to the people of these countries that needs dealt with. So that needs dealt with, right? Once I've fixed the pile of nonsense in my own garden, then we can protest everything. And it's the same in America, and it's the same in Australia, and it's the same in Japan, and it's the same in Germany, Italy, France, Spain, Greece. It's weird. It's weird, man. It's almost like there's a Christian theme to these countries. It's awfully weird as well how all the women and children just love war. They're like, husband, please leave us in this war zone. Head to the UK. Get a cushy house. Leave us here, husband, please. Don't worry. I will use the children as human shields. What? What?
Yeah.
Mad. You know, look at what's going on in Africa, right? There is a genocide and a absolute destruction of tens of thousands of people all around Africa who all just so happen to be Christian and also just so happen to be getting taken out by dudes with a big black flag with some very peculiar white writing on it.
Well, the Crusades were literally just genocide of people and then converting them to Christianity. So, I mean...
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that Christianity's not got a terrible history, but see, back then, that was the norm, okay? Like, back then, that's like, oh, we've got a difference, so I'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We've kind of evolved past that now. Now, we do things differently, okay? I don't give a rat's ass what... If it wasn't my family, right, or me directly, I'm not taking any blame for anyone's historical pish. Especially a country's. Are you okay? Are you all right? Like, I tell you what, why don't we all sit down and talk about what we all got up to during the Dark Ages, right? All of societies. Shall we talk about that? No one wants to talk about that. That was almost a century of the Dark Ages. A century.
Yeah, and it's just like that. It's the Dark Ages.
Bro, listen. You think shit is bad? Go and watch some Dark Age stuff, bro. I mean, they call it the Dark Ages. And it wasn't because there wasn't a sun, bro. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying.
And they love to give really cool names to stuff that's terrible, like a stroke. A stroke sounds brilliant. I'm going home to have a stroke. No, terrible. Terrible name. Terrible name. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, give these things, if diseases and stuff had scary names, I'd be more conscious of not falling into the traps of how to get them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Oh, man, I have just waffled. Absolutely.
Oh, that's funny.
I swear. Do you know what we need? We need a chess counter, right? Like, when I start talking, I hit it and my timer goes, right? And then when you start, I'll pause mine. And at the end of the show, we'll look at the timer and then we'll know if I'm just waffling pish for the whole show. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, your waffles are not too far off, though. I feel like they're all super accurate. And I just, something bigger is going on here. I feel like what they're trying to do with the Epstein files is get us to feel like that's where the buck stops, is with Epstein. But I don't think it does. Like, he's the top of the food chain, kind of like this was his thing. He's dead and gone. You have all the files now. So you guys can sift through it all you want, but we're not going to prosecute anybody further because everything stops with Epstein. But I don't think he was, I think he was just not even maybe a big player, maybe just like one of the higher players in this game, in this operation, whatever it is. But I mean,
here's the thing.
All the things going Israel, like with coming out about Israel and how they really do control other countries and governments.
Allegedly.
Countries and governments. I could totally see that being a part of the operation, and there's got to be other parts going on elsewhere. That can't be the entirety of it.
do you know how people like to generalize racism and generalize things? You know how racists have been saying for years that there's a grand conspiracy where a certain religion is trying to take over the world?
Mhm.
You heard that one, right?
Yeah.
So we've got Epstein, who I'm 90% convinced he was a full-on Israeli agent and is alive, right? Because you don't get a 6-month jail sentence for abusing a child. In America, it's a mandatory, and it's a mandatory sentence in the UK, right? And in the US.
Mm.
And the only person that can order a change to the DOJ is the president. So we now know that the president was the reason why he got a light sentence. I can't remember where I was going with this. What was I talking about? I was talking about, what was my point? I was going somewhere.
Epstein just being a player in this game and working for Mossad.
Oh, that's right. So then he can't be a player in the game, right? So a player in the game would be one of his clients. He is a lying monster that worked for a country to let children be abused in the name of global control, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, wait for it. What's worse, right? You're a twisted evil monster who wants to do horrible things to kids because you're fucked, right? Or a whole country of government people sanctioning this and making it happen to control the world. I mean, it's both pretty bad, right? But I'm telling you, none of it makes sense when you look at how things go through the legal system with him. And when you look at who calls the shots, it falls with the presidents with this. I don't think the world's ready for the truth. I'm going to be honest. I don't think the world's ready to watch everything that we know disappear. Okay? But I tell you this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how I know it would survive if everyone got arrested? 2 weeks notice. Okay? That's all we would need. 2 weeks notice. When you quit your job, you give 2 weeks notice, right? So basically, if you're a company and there's somebody that works for you who is cashing in all their holiday dates because they're in the Epstein files, just get looking for their replacement now.
Yep.
Just get looking for the replacement now. 2 weeks notice, baby. That's how long we would be down. And I bet you this. I bet Sandra in the government office handles everything brilliantly until they get new staff in. Okay. I bet she's stamping, answering calls, just like this. Okay.
Yep.
But we'd survive. We'd survive. America every year, people build their houses out of wood, and every year nature blows them the fuck down. And then they come back and they build more wooden houses. Okay. Trust me. America will survive. Okay.
Like they will survive. The 99%. There's 99% more of us than there are of them. It's not going to be hard to find people.
Like if this was just a classic, like the film Warriors, where we all just met in a field. They're done, bro. They're done. They are done. Do you know what I'm saying? Totally like done. If you take 99 grapes and put them in a bag and twist it and then drop it on one grape. All right. That's what we're talking about here. Okay.
It's a real good analogy.
I'm just saying, the biggest dudes at the front, we all just run at them, put the big dudes on a cart because they're cardio out and just run at them.
That's why they're trying to spread all this bullshit so that you don't know what to believe. There's not enough people that are like on board to say, yeah, we're not taking this anymore. There's all these people that are like, oh, well, that's been disproven. This person denied that. That's not true. This is totally fake, blah, blah, blah. And nobody knows what to believe anymore. So nobody's going to unify.
Remember, information is a distraction. Economy is the handcuffs. Okay. They distract us with all this bullshit information whilst they keep us locked and controlled in the mad societies. Like people, it's not your fault you're more concerned about rent or your car payment than going out and protesting Epstein. It's not your fault. I remember a world where my mum had a job and she worked it, and then we got a holiday and the mortgage is paid and we had food. Like, why are like Americans have got like 6 jobs?
Yeah,
like, there's some mums that work 3 jobs. Like, if you've got 3 jobs, you better be working like 12 hours a week in a really cool, 3 cool jobs, 4 hours a week. But it ain't like that. You've got mums getting up, dropping their kids off at school, going to work for 6 hours, then going and like napping for half an hour, picking up the kids, then taking the kids home, and then going to job again, and then going doing a night shift. I'm sorry, America. What is your problem? What is your problem?
Yeah,
that is disgusting. That is disgusting. I don't even know how you get into that. Because
and it's not
how
just
does that happen?
You could have two people making decent money and you're still struggling. Like you're barely making the two people both working full time.
And listen, I'm going to be honest. I am so far disconnected from what normal working anything is, just to be clear. I'm an incredibly lucky individual who does this for a living, right? But man, I just don't understand how it's allowed. Like how is that? I mean, it's no better here. I mean, I've heard the UK is. I know people that have got multiple jobs and a side hustle and all of that. There was a video that went viral recently of a guy who flew from England to Turkey, done his weekly food shop, and then flew back from Turkey, and it was £25 cheaper than going to a supermarket. And do you know what the crazy thing was? It was say $4 or $5 for a big bag of Doritos, like a big bag, and it was €1.50 over there, right? You had toothpaste, Oral-B toothpaste, the really good stuff, the whitening stuff is about £8 a tube here, $1.60. So if that's the actual price of stuff, right? If that's the actual price that something costs, what the hell's going on in America and the UK with food right now? Right? Because you cannot pretend if I can fly to Turkey and then do my shopping and come back, someone's doing something, okay? Someone's up to something, bro.
Yeah,
they're up to something.
Something's definitely off. Have you ever seen the movie?
I wonder if they're trying to secretly fund a massive global operation on an island where they're making jerky out of people. I wonder.
Oh, we've got to send other countries money too, so we got to make sure that we pay our other countries.
Do you know, it really makes me want to swear in other languages. That's how wound up I get about this, right? And it's like, yeah, listen, yeah, we get it, man. All right, I can't grow a Dorito, okay? I can grow some stuff. I can't grow the Dorito or some wet wipes. Do you know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying about growing your own food. You're not wrong, okay? And the next one was Cocoa Pops. So a kilo of Cocoa Pops was like $3 in this shop. And I think it was $2. And it was like £10 was the equivalent in the UK. I'm sorry. There's a reason why everyone's so stressed out. Everyone's stuck indoors. No one has any food. No one has nothing. No one has any money. We're all stretched out to the max. Because if we would have noticed this stuff, too many people would have noticed this stuff when the pizza stuff happened. Okay? We're too smart. They're trying to make us dumb, but man, they are failing. Okay? Because who the hell gives us the internet?
I know, that was a bad idea.
Idiots, man. What did they think was going to happen? Like, what did they think was going to happen?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, dude. How underrated is Justin Timberlake at everything? He's so frustratingly good at anything he puts his hand to. It makes me mad. Carry on. Sorry.
I didn't even think he was gonna do that well in the movie, but I was blown away with his performance, number one. But second, the movie and the premise of the movie is such a good social commentary on money, basically just exchanging money for time. And it's thinking that these people can just live forever. They don't need the time, while there's people down struggling with 24 hours less on their clock. It's a really good, interesting way to restructure your view of money and how it is that it's so concentrated at the top.
I agree. And I just want to say, Netflix, all the pish that you make, that's a TV series waiting to happen. Nick of Time would be sick as a TV show. And also, like,
that actually would be sick.
I'm pretty sure, and just hear me out, right? I'm pretty sure if we just let Justin Timberlake make some decisions for the world, right, they'd probably be the best decisions ever, right? Like, I'm just saying, right? The guy, he can dance, he can sing, he can act. He's the trifecta.
He really is. And he's good looking. He's a great looking dude.
So side chat, you can let us know if he's a predator or a Scientologist. If we've missed that, let us know. But
true.
I'm just saying, he just freaking nails it. So anyway, now that we've glazed freaking Justin Timberlake, What else? What else? What else? Other than the main topics of discussion, can we talk about? Like,
oh yeah, when I was searching for Mandelson, though, I think I told you this, but I don't know if I told the chat this. I was using web to search for him and just see what came up. And he brought up an article, and it was the actual investigation where they're talking about needing to open this investigation into him in February of 2025. That same investigation document also says that the victim claims she was trafficked to Sergey Brin. So I was like, that is pretty wild. Like, some of the biggest names in the world are all tied to this thing. And I think it's just going to take more people finding damning evidence. And I know that the US is doing investigations into a ton of people, but we are yet to see any arrests here. All of the arrests have been, I'm pretty sure, just in the UK. So, like, just makes me wonder what's going on.
Yes.
Why?
All two of them. Okay, arrest counter is at 2. Charges counter is at 0. Okay, so 2 is. I mean, listen. At least something's happening, right?
Well, they're both financial crime charges or like allegations. You know, they're not. It has nothing to do with
technically, R-ing a woman and R-ing a child would fall under like whatever that charge is, because they've done it whilst they're in that position of power. If you see what I'm saying. So either that, it's either going to be life in jail or a £500 fine for allegedly insider trading.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you think Mandelson will unalive himself? See, here's the thing. What if he's got a wife and kids, he might be told that if he does that, what will happen to them? I know that sounds messed up, but if I was an evil villain, that's exactly what I would do. I'd be like, oh, Mandelson's been caught. I tell you what, if you say anything or if you don't take full blame, this is what will happen to your wife and kids.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. I mean, that's what I mean, if I was an evil overlord, leverage, baby. It's not even a case. It's not even a question of morality. It's just a good business move. It's a good business model for the evil pyramid of evil PDF human transporters. He's got a husband. Okay, yeah, okay. Or husband. Or husband. My 2026, baby. 2026. Okay? 2026. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem, Ron. Okay, yeah. Okay, whatever. Wife or husband. Okay. Partner. Maybe he's got a cat he's fond of. I don't know. All right, I'm just saying.
We're going to take that cat out. We're going to put
a loved one's a loved one's, man. A loved one's a loved one. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at Elton John and his husband. Every day they've been together, they send each other like a love note and have that every single day. That's adorable. Yeah. Okay, adorable. Okay. Do you know how rich you have to be to remember to do that every day, though? That's all I'm saying. Like, do you know how much time you have to be able to go, I'm going to spend 40 minutes this morning expressing my love for you, darling, and then just go about your day. Okay, because most people wake up and they're like, I've got to be working 14 minutes, showering a cat.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah.
John Wick fought for a dog. Yeah, he did. Did he not kill his wife as well, or was it just the dog? Or his wife already died? His wife already died, right? Yeah. That was a good. I love the John Wick films.
Oh, yeah, they're good.
They really messed up. They should have done a TV. They tried to do a TV series about the John Wick stuff, but they keep doing mini series where it's like 3 episodes and a lot of crap. That was wasted. They should have done a multiple series just about the black dude. You know, the black concierge, the concierge guy. That would have been sick.
Yeah, it would have been sick. Yeah, they really don't do things well on TV. And honestly, I'm like, what's with the movie game these days? Like, I just feel like movies, like...
Do you know what another Marvel movie like? Do you know what another 7 Marvel movies? Do you know what another remake of an old movie? Come on.
Yeah, I'm like, I never got into the Marvel movies. So now I'm just like, I don't ever watch movies. I'm like, this sucks.
Well, if I ever become like so depressed that I become like an avid meth head and I'm awake for days, I promise myself I'm going to back to back the entire Marvel series. Just sit there like, oh, you're right. Just information, right? Like it's just madness. And I'm the same. I don't get, do you know what really annoys me as well? When I go on Amazon Prime and I go, oh, there's a movie I want to watch. And then it asks me to pay for the movie after I've already paid for Amazon.
Yeah, I don't know how I got downgraded. I don't know how I got downgraded in my subscription services to being the ad version for the same price, but that really sucked out of nowhere.
That's because we're not good enough now. Amazon is like, oh, you're not on 100K a year. Peasant, have an advert. Even if you can afford it, peasant, advert. I'm just saying that. Like yesterday was the first time I missed television in decades. Like the ability to sit down and not have any choice over what I'm watching. I've got maybe 6 channels and I'm going to have to pick something. Those days were do you know how much time collectively all year I spend looking for shit to watch on a streaming service?
Yeah,
it's horrible. It's become
with a friend once, like it's the same thing for me when you hear a song on the radio that you wouldn't like. You're like, damn, I love this song. This song sounds great. But then you go and you play it on your own on Spotify and you're like, it just doesn't hit the same when I choose to do it. But when I would go and watch a movie on TNT that I didn't choose, I'm like, oh, this movie's on. Like, hell yeah. It just gets you so much more stoked about it. Yeah,
for example, you turn on the TV and Die Hard 2's on. You're like, yes! And then you turn on a streaming service and you're like, Die Hard 2, who would even watch that?
You're like, I've seen that. I don't want to watch that. Yeah, it just hits different. Totally different.
I agree.
I think what I think they need to do is somebody needs to come up with a blockbuster, because I think that would kill if somebody started a new blockbuster. Because I miss the blockbuster experience, picking out a movie, making it like a whole. It's like it's movie night. We're going to Blockbuster, getting it. It's not like we're gonna rent a movie for $35 on Netflix that is not worth it for 2 days.
I think the only way you could do it was if you were picking up. Oh, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love that too. But let's be honest. You're going to go once or twice, right? And then a month later, it's going to shut down. Okay. It's like on the second trip, you're going to realize why we shifted to streaming services. Okay. That's what's going to happen, right? That's what's going to happen. Yeah. I'm sorry. I would love to go back to the 90s. It's gone now. It's gone, Nick.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Blockbuster's gone. It's gone. All right. It's all gone, bro.
You're right.
Like remembering every phone number of every person you ever knew, gone. Okay. Gone.
Yeah.
You know. So look, let's get serious. This is an actual grown-up fucking point here. So why did evil people from Hollywood prime us to fight exactly what is going on in the world right now by that same machine? Exactly. Prime us to fight what's going on in the world right now that's done by the same machine. How psyop is that? What are we missing? Well, listen. Do you know?
It's next level psyop.
You've got to try and think. If we're talking about where the orders come from for stuff like this, the top of the evil cabal food chain, like how do you put your head in the mind of what could be a 500-year-old blood-sucking cabal superhuman? Like putting it in their faces and showing us that's how they show worship to a deity. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Lord Shish Kebab, I am going to by your honor and fool the world. Shamalamalama. Do you know what I'm saying? Could be.
Very well.
Because that at least makes sense.
Honestly, it's kind of how it is.
Yeah. It's not justifying it, but at least you can go, hey, and their God wants. All right. I can get my head. We'll still be delving into Epstein files. If the mods can post a Discord link, I'm wanting to put together some community projects, right? I'm desperate to start everybody picking a celebrity or a person, and then it's your job to get all of the Epstein files that are about that one person or the worst of ones of them. And then we'll put it all in a visual mind map so that we can go, right, Tom Hanks, all of his stuff, Bill Gates, all of his stuff. And let's really get into it. Because otherwise, what are we going to have at the end of all this? 4 trillion episodes of content that's too much for anyone to watch. But if you guys can all have a tool where you can go, oh, wait, Susan in the office, you think it's all nonsense. Bam! Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's prove Susan wrong. Okay? Let's prove Susan wrong. All right?
You definitely want to get web then, because I feel like web would be perfect for that. You can create a canvas and keep all the documents of one person in a little canvas underneath a little chart. It says Tom Hanks, all the Tom Hanks documents. Yeah. Like Johnny Depp, anybody else, all their documents.
Yeah. That's what we need to do. And we could even maybe split it between the two communities, and we can make a data sheet for people to work off so that they know who's in charge of, say, Bill Gates. So if they want to join the Bill Gates team or whatever, we can do that. because everyone's always asking, what can we do to help? And when it comes to PDF files, you ain't really going to get any advice from me because too many vigilantes will get themselves arrested, right? But this is black and white documents that are out in the public, and this never happens. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Let's do it. I'm pretty sure Ryan D done one off of, I think it was it 9/11? I can't remember. He's done one that's absolutely amazing. You can buy it as a poster. And I do believe it might be 9/11. I can't remember. It's one of the big ones anyway, but it's an absolute banger of a resource. They are deleting files. They're deleting freaking Google, baby. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to get a VPN. I'm going to turn on my VPN and do the same searches on 2 different open Google tabs, one on VPN, one on not, and then I'm going to see if the results are any different.
It's a good idea. Yeah, because I swear it is. I definitely
swear it is too.
Yeah, definitely weird shit going on in the world right now, and people are all reacting to it at the same time too. So it's interesting to see, like, companies are reacting, people are reacting, people are freaking out. They have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Do you know what? War is the wrong word. War would be like, there's clear. Yeah, I will actually. Thank you. What the hell's your name? I'm just going to call you Woz. Thank you, Woz. Stop. War is the wrong word. War would be like, there's a clear visual track. Do you know what I'm saying? It's I don't even know what the right word. It's a freaking covert. It's a freaking Navy SEALs operation. If we're going for war type analogies, this is as Navy SEAL as it gets, bro. This is as Navy SEAL as it gets. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
it's got to be a huge money-making machine that is at this point refined enough. Like, the system is so refined that it's just a money-making scheme now. It's kind of like a drug running operation from the cartel.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the stuff going on in Mexico, by the way?
Oh, man. Bro, the stuff going on in Mexico. You mean how they took out a cartel leader, and then the rest of the cartel went, nah. And then they raided the airport and started blasting people in the airport, and then shut down all the roads. Yeah. Listen, Trump, you've set the standard with the super soldiers and the drones now. What are you doing? What was that, mate? What was that?
Yep.
That was terrible, bro. That was terrible. Okay, get back in there and deal with that. I mean, that's just crazy. It's crazy, man. So yeah, Iran, Mexico, there's some real stuff taking place right now. And do you know what's fascinating about Iran, right? Do you know the population of Iran is one of the smartest populations of people in the world? Like, from an IQ level, right? They're really smart.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And they're governed by a barbaric regime, right? That literally says, and I'm directly quoting the leaders of that country, your head will be missing from your body if you waver from our team. That's about the only way I can put it on this channel.
Wow.
They literally came out and said it, right? And what's going on in Iran right now is very important for us all to pay attention to, because there is a certain group and demographic trying to take over the world right now. And this is a great idea. This is a great visual for what it might look like. All right. I've got a live stream on Wednesday called The Battle for Britain. I'm not going to show the thumbnail because it's horrific. But I asked a long time ago, where's the line for you? Is it when you're not allowed to have your dog anymore? Is it when there's a new law that prevents you living your life like how you would want to, based off of ideologies from another part of the world? Is it going to be when your daughter's forced to marry someone at 12? Where's the line? Because the line's now a freaking dot for me. It's just a dot back there.
Yeah, same.
You know? Crazy. I didn't think I would live to see the day that I see radicalized British thought. I never thought about it. You know, because too many things have catching predators at 3 a.m. outside UK nightclubs, and you will see YouTubers who go out every night who stand and film men of a certain profile waiting outside clubs and pubs for drunk girls who then continue to harass them verbally and physically, follow them home, try and pull them into fake taxis. And no one's doing anything but YouTubers. Police.
I mean, I've spent a lot of time in the clubs, and you see it every single time you leave. There's just dudes that just like, there's just this massive gathering outside the club, and it's just dudes creepily creeping on drunk chicks.
Do you know what? Wednesday on my channel, that's when we're going to rant about this. Yep. Avicii's video for A Better Day, mad. Literally, the video was about a guy who was transported as a child going and unaliving all of the people that transported him as a child, while showing the irony of the fact that him unaliving all these people done nothing to prevent any of it from happening. Fun. Also, Ron is kind of sick of the world and wants to maybe do some good. So I might start a project in the summer where we try and raise some money through a Patreon every month to then use for something good. I'm really into this whole doing stuff for underprivileged families who've got kids who've got nothing, right? Yeah. Like kids who have parents who have to lie to their kids like all the time, why they can't have a toy or why they can't I can't deal with it. That's a problem that we could fix a little bit as a community. Like that's a problem that we could fix a tiny bit until we've got millions of pounds to start not a forceful group that likes to use Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Till we've got that.
Yep.
We can do a little bit of good, right? We can do a little bit of good. So I've got about 20,000 Pokemon cards that I'm putting into actual playable Pokemon decks to hand into all of the schools for all of the kids who've been trying to buy Pokemon cards but can't get any Pokemon cards because people like me keep buying them all to get them graded as 10s to then sell them for thousands of pounds. All right. So that's the first thing we're going to do, which is we can do for free. Right. But like,
really good idea.
And do you know what else? Do you know all these YouTubers that like go up and give people money, right? And they film the reaction. I would much rather that the parent was the hero. So the kid never knew about it being a YouTube thing or anything like that. And obviously I'm going to have to do something for views. So I would want like, instead of like, I just want the parent to be the hero and being able to facilitate that for parents, even on a tiny level. It's just where it's at. It's where it's at.
Because it kind of does take away, like the parents are probably grateful, but at the same time,
yeah.
No, that's great.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I wouldn't make a channel just about that, but I would definitely make content from it. And I would definitely, want to do something like that, you know?
Yeah. I think that's great. It's a good idea. The Pokemon cards is a good idea too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm only making content out of it because I make content. Like, I wouldn't just not be making content. And if I had a big budget, I would, because some of these guys do amazing change. Like I watched a guy the other day, his community raised like 2.1 million for this woman. And he paid cash for a house, bought her a car, put $800,000 into a financial advisor scheme that set up her 2 kids for life and her for life, then gave her some cash to get her going. Through YouTube?
Yeah, that's crazy.
What?
Yeah. That's
what?
Wild.
So I mean, that would be my dream. I would love to be able to change people's lives. Like how sick, I will cry all the time, by the way. Like every time I do this, I will cry. But that's what I want to do. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Illuminati card game's mental. Like,
oh yeah, it is.
What? The Deceiver, and then you've got 2 Bidens. Mad.
Yeah, it's so wild.
Mad.
Yeah. It's just like new cards keep coming true every year.
It's just bonkers, mate. Well, look, Nick, next week, the SideQuest podcast will have its official inauguration. I apologize. We should have had about 4,000 on the live, but because I put the wrong thumbnail up, we were throttled at the start, so I do apologize. And Nick, it's always a bloody pleasure. Your nicks are in the description. Your links are in the description, and you're online with your wonderful partner tonight, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go live, talk about lucid dreaming.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Yep. Should be fun.
Yeah, man.
We were kind of touching on it last week with like a lot of people in the MK Ultra program and GATE program talk about how lucid dreaming seems to be like a big piece of them accessing memories, and they also have lucid dreams quite a bit. So yeah, Kim was like, let's focus on that. I let her pick the topic every week.
I had an idea for a documentary, right? Called Underage and Gay, right? About gay culture and the passive adult boy relationships that seem like a rite of. So, for example, I don't know when you first lost your V card, right? But I was in high school. I think I was 15, they were 15, or I was 16, they were 16. Like, I can't remember. It was about that age, right? And that was the norm. That was the norm. But you had a girlfriend, you did that, blah, blah, blah. But there is this whole culture that is wild, right? With older men, younger boys, and it's almost seemed as like a normal thing.
Like a way to enter into that world and like
something like that. Because, and I'm not right. And it was a case that Paul and I were covering that got me thinking about this, because I imagine there is a lot of now older gay men who look back and think, oh, maybe that was a bit sus. Maybe I was lured into something here. Do you see what I mean? And I wonder how many of them go under the radar because of that. Because the kid doesn't see it as a crime or abuse. They see it as someone older showing them the ropes, maybe. I don't know. But it got me thinking about
with that FBI like symbols list is you do see the girl lover symbol sometimes, but 90% of the time you're seeing the boy lover symbol when you are seeing those symbols. At least for me, like it just seems like the boy lover symbol is a more prominent. There's more of them out there than there are young girl lovers. So I don't know. And even back then, like back in Greek ancient times, they would be like, that was kind of like it was not only good, it was not only normal, but it was like good. That was how you.
If that's the case, they are the most underrepresented demographic in the world. Okay, because name me one male survivor of any abuse case you've ever heard. Right? I mean, sure, we can all, and if I said female, you probably couldn't either. But we all know Virginia Giuffre. We all know the people who've been interviewed on this channel and all the rest of it.
The only ones I can think of are the Coreys.
Oh yeah, and how did it work out for the Coreys? It worked out real great for the Coreys. One of them no longer here. The other one mental.
Yeah, nobody takes him seriously either. It's like, okay,
bro, like let's just talk about Corey for like 2 seconds, right? Because what's with his music, bro? Like, have you seen him on stage? Have you seen him? Have you seen it? If you've not, my God, like
that's crazy. I didn't even know he did music.
You did? Oh, could you just stay there? You just stay there, then I'll let you go.
Yeah,
you just stay right there.
And then Charlie Sheen gets his own documentary, so must be cool.
Oh, listen. Has anyone proved anything against Charlie Sheen?
That's true. That is true. I don't think anybody has.
Because all I'm saying is, has anyone? I don't know if they have. I've not heard the full story, but that speech that he gave when he had that breakdown during that interview, when he said he had tiger blood and like all of the things he was bringing to people's lives was pure magic, and he'll forget about them all tomorrow, but they'll remember it forever, was one of the greatest derailing rants I have ever heard in my life. Like, I'm immortal. I have tiger's blood. I'm winning.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Amazing. Just, legendary. I mean, right. So first of all, I'm just gonna put a couple of things up on the screen, then you can go. All right. So, how seriously are you taking him now? How seriously are you taking him now?
Whoa.
Oh no! Don't worry. It gets better.
Whoa.
It gets better, bro. It's mad. It's mad.
And I feel like he's aged super roughly.
And I tell you what, his left hand is tiny. That is the tiniest left hand I have seen in an adult man in my whole life. Okay, tiny left. He's got a T-Rex hand. But listen, the music's a bit mad. His story, he was criticized for putting it behind a paywall. I feel so bad for the Coreys. I feel so bad for all of them. because one Corey isn't here anymore, and the other Corey, he's just went about it in the wrong way, and it's sad. It's sad. It doesn't mean that what he's saying isn't true. It's just, it's sad. You know, it really is.
Yeah, definitely.
But maybe he had to, I don't know, maybe that's why he's still alive. Maybe.
That's a good point. Yeah, that is a good point.
Maybe you've got, like, I don't, it sounds really stupid, but like, maybe if like you publicly humiliate yourself and make it yourself into that sort of laughing stock, that's your punishment. You can make a documentary about this, but no one will believe you because you look crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Yeah.
But I mean, is it a good point? It sounds mental, but
I don't know.
Don't know. You just don't know, right?
You really don't know. And that's the worst part is there's so many different options of what could be going on.
Yeah.
But obviously something's going on. And Corey's career died. So like obviously I think that's the first thing to go.
Yeah. And listen, until someone proves me otherwise, I'm totally down with Corey's story. I just wish he'd went about it the other way. And of course, if we believe then Charlie Sheen is bad man. Very bad man.
Yeah.
But look, listen, thank you all for being here. I know the show is a bit all over the place. We will make sure that in the title, you know, it's me and Nick. Tomorrow, we're delving into Epstein and cloning and continuing all this week. So stay tuned.
That'll be fun. Cloning.
Bro, I mean, I would be all right with a couple of clones as long as they had like a brand right across their face that said fake, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a big tattoo, right?
Watermark.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not even maybe just give them 3 fingers and like 2 fingers and a thumb. Do you know what I mean? Like, give them little weird, like, clone hand. Do you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Like, nip it, like, or maybe like, maybe put their feet where your knee starts, right? So they've got like little tiny legs, right? And then the 3 finger, that'll keep them in line. That'll keep him in line. Not a tiny leg, but just cut it off at the knee and then push a trainer on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want the clone becoming better than the original. So
right. Well, it's more if they organize, right, and start grouping together and like
9% of them and 1% of me.
Like the tiny little like clone army starts rolling out. Do you know what I'm saying? Make them blue. And people will fetishize them, bro. People will fetishize them. You'll start seeing weird Smurf parties popping up all over the place. Do you know what I'm saying? And in fact, you know what? I almost side quested into a whole, we should feel sorry for the one girl Smurf. Okay.
Yeah.
The one girl Smurf and the one old Smurf. All right.
Yeah,
like it's weird. It's weird. All right. Listen, I will see you all later on, my G's. See you later. Thank you, Nick. Catch you later, my man. And Nick's going to be live. His link's in the description. Thank you all for being here. See you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you.